That from court records obtained by AP, also revealing that his parents disagreed on how to care for their troubled son. Police say 24-year-old David Katz of Baltimore killed himself after opening fire at the Madden NFL 19 tournament in Jacksonville, killing 2 others and injuring 9. Iran is suing the U.S. after asking the International Court of Justice to lift U.S. sanctions.
Iranian lawyer Mohsen Mohabi said the U.S. aimed to damage Iran's economy as severely as possible and had violated a little-known 1955 friendship treaty. The U.S. said it would vigorously defend itself against the meritless claim. Iran's economy has slumped since President Trump ordered that the sanctions be reinstated in May. The Iranian currency, the rial, has lost half its value against the dollar. The monthly inflation rate has risen to 10.2%, and unemployment stands at 12.5%.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in London renewed tensions with Iran after President Trump pulled out of the 7-nation nuclear deal. As summer begins to wind down, talks heat up about what Apple is planning for the fall.
The iPhone X will be a year old this time around. It will likely see a drop in price, but it may also get a little boost in performance under the hood. Apple is also rumored to be ready to roll out a larger iPhone, the largest yet, in fact, with a 6.5-inch screen to take the top of the line spot in the iPhone lineup. There's also rumors an iPhone X-like phone will ship with an LCD screen, not the more expensive OLED screen, and an aluminum body. It too will lack the home button and have Face ID.
Fox's Brett Larson. New phones may not be the only announcement coming. An updated Apple Watch is possible, along with iPad updates that could include Face ID. Elisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only, Subway. Make it what you want.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan, and here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Ugan Limtiaco gubernatorial team has made an official request to the Guam Election Commission for a recount of the ballots cast in last Saturday's Democratic gubernatorial primary election. The recount request letter was submitted yesterday afternoon to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. The letter cites Guam election law, which states that if the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. However, Pangilinan told the Guam Daily Post that the vote difference falls in the 3% range and outside the 2% boundary that would require a mandatory recount. Ken Leon Guerrero of Guam Citizens for Public Accountability, which endorsed the Ogun-Limtiaco team, also requested a recount, citing the Election Commission's own documentation, which he says shows a difference in the vote total of only 1.02%. The final decision on the accuracy of the calculations and whether a recount should be conducted will be made by the Election Commission when they meet at 5:30 Thursday afternoon. The Ogun-Limtiaco campaign, meanwhile, issuing a statement of its own yesterday afternoon in which Senator Frank Ogun Jr. said despite facing an opponent who spent well over $1 million, the voters of Guam believed in Ogun-Limtiaco. Ogun said his team endured an orchestrated barrage of negative and baseless attacks, but thanks to the tireless efforts of our supporters, they made their voices heard on Saturday. His running mate, former Attorney General Alicia Limtiaco, who also is the former U.S. Attorney for Guam, said there are still some concerns we'd like to see addressed to ensure the integrity of the election process, and that is a recount of the Democratic primary ballots to be conducted by the Election Commission. She said, "We are confident in the outcome of Saturday's race and know that the election is only over when every properly cast ballot is counted." We'll have more news after this.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
News time here at The Point is 10 minutes past 6 a.m. A woman who recently turned 18 called for her father's help by dropping a pin in a WhatsApp map after she says she was sexually assaulted while attending a party on Saturday night. Jonathan Womack, a 22-year-old U.S. Navy sailor, has been arrested and charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct in connection with the incident. According to the magistrate's report, the teen told police she'd been drinking at a party at a home in Chalanpago and passed out. She awoke when the assault occurred in an upstairs bedroom. She called her father, stating that she was unable to leave the home and she was not okay. She used the social media application's location tracker so that her father could find her. The teen's father then called police. Womack denied the assault allegation and claimed the sexual encounter had been consensual, according to the magistrate complaint. Guam Regional Medical City's open heart surgery program has resumed. GRMC held a news conference yesterday afternoon to announce the successful conclusion of 4 heart bypass surgeries last week, led by Dr. Noel Concepcion and his team. Dr. Concepcion is a graduate of Father Duenas Memorial High School here on Guam. He went on to earn a medical degree and become the chief of cardiac surgery at the Doctors Medical Center in Modesto, California. Dr. Concepcion launched GRMC's first open heart surgeries back in 2015, but the program was interrupted after the hospital lost a number of specialty nurses due to the H-2B restrictions imposed by the U.S. Immigration Service. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray now with a look at weather.
So 8,218 and 7,958 equals 16,176. And you divide 260 by that, and you get what?
Don't ask me.
I'm mathing, Mommy. Don't look. I'm trying to do my math. Partly cloudy today with isolated showers. There's afternoon thunderstorms. East winds up to about 10 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Highs 90 with a heat index near 100 and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Sunset tonight about 6:35. And who was telling me? Somebody challenged me to sunset last night.
Oh, okay.
I was saying I'm going to Santa Fe and I'm checking out the sunset, and they said no, there's not going to be any sunset last night. I have the picture pictures to prove otherwise. It was absolutely gorgeous, even though the weather just, wow. What was that yesterday, dude?
Well, it goes along with what I was talking about with those light northeast winds we were having and how it would blow anything that formed over the island across most of the island. And that's kind of what happened. We had a couple of good rounds of showers to develop up north, and they moved all the way across.
That's an understatement, bro.
Yeah.
The raindrops were hitting my windshield like bullets.
Yeah, they were big. They actually were some really heavy showers. I mean, they were on the radar. You saw the radar, the orange and red echoes, which is the heaviest it gets. So probably less of a chance of that happening today. The winds have shifted a little bit now, more to the southeast and east. That's because of a tropical depression that has just formed in the last 24 hours. 25W, very far to the west. Yeah, we checked that out. Yeah, that blobage way out there, and you can even see some spin. And the good thing for us is it's already to our east-northeast, and it's going to slide up and over the top of the Marianas. And this storm is not structured like the last one, so we won't have another, giant rainfall event like we had the last time. And just a few showers increasing as it slides on by later on this weekend. That's the uptick in showers. So should be not bad today. I don't know. They say there's less chance of rain today, but I'm just not holding out hope of that because we've got the upper-level low that's looking like it's creeping down this way. So
I'm just, it's Guam. It was gorgeous for 10 minutes, and then I took a nap, and then I woke up, and it was not gorgeous, and I thought, okay, let me just take a chance here because it was ugly where I was, and then I got in the car and went down to Tumon, and as I'm driving into this side of the island, all of a sudden the dark clouds started to gather, and then it started coming down like we should have built an ark sometime over the weekend. Maybe we could have used the time better as opposed to fighting over recounts and stuff. We should have built an ark and got monkeys and stuff like that.
Yeah. And today will be a similar scenario because of these east winds. Any showers that form will be hugging the west side of the island. So get ready. Tumon, the morning.
That's News Weather Together, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid. With the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas, you plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at King's Restaurant. They've been serving people all kinds of great food. Wait. You know what? I can remember most of the schedule with King's. Can I just tell you, most of the schedule pops right in my head. When it gets to be Tuesdays, I don't know why, it's so weird. Beefsteak tomorrow on Tuesdays. That's the lunch special today for lunch. You know what? Maybe I ought to try it. Well, let's go over there and try it for lunch one of these days, one of these Tuesdays, and then I will remember better. And if you can't remember beefsteak tomorrow, either pick 2 or pick 3 combos for lunch at King's.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Portions of the program also brought to you by Security Title, when you absolutely need confidentiality in your real estate transactions.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping the future. Micronesia Renewable Energy, American WaterTech, Smarter Water, Better Water, and Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, yeah, that Mundo, huh? That moon driving home last night after it was a spectacular. We got the spectacular sunset. Well, it wasn't spectacular. It was just nice. It was just nicer than what I thought we were going to get. And then on the way, I'm looking at this moon, and I wanted to keep driving to Jigo just so I could look at it longer while I was driving. That was nice. 6:18. Hey, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Primary statistician and managing editor of the Guam Daily Post is Kevin Kerrigan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It turned into a, I think we're just going to have interesting days until the Guam Election Commission meets, aren't we? It just every day is going to get better. Every day is going to get better. So we talked with Maria Pangilinan yesterday, and there were problems down in agate, and there's a little bit more flesh on the agate bone now, isn't there?
On the agate bone, it's on the calculations. That's where.
No, the front page. You got that other story. Precinct official blames claims ballot tamper. John O'Connor's story about what was going on down there and some issues with these provisional ballots that were apparently mishandled, and then the situation just kept getting worse. They mishandled. They botched the job of trying to handle them correctly, and then somebody said, "Well, you know what? We'll blame a cop. Is what we'll do." What? There were 499 voter signatures, but more than 500 ballots were cast for each category, and the numbers also varied by category. I don't know how that error happened. Prior to leaving the precinct, Corpus said a more experienced precinct official allegedly stated they could say a Guam Police Department officer added more ballots into the supply box. Police officers escort and monitor precincts, but officials carry the supply boxes themselves. According to Corpus, the officer was nowhere near the box she added. Why would you even make that remark? You must have already known we weren't going to balance. To falsely accuse an officer, that's wrong. That's just one of my favorite quotes coming out of Corpus's statements here. At UOG, Corpus said she was told to shut up because she was, quote, making it obvious. I was scared. I said, this was a felony. I'm just like, we're going to jail. Which is that should be our phrase today. We'll stop using teaching moment for just a little bit and say, I was like, we're going to jail. No! So there's going to be more. Can I just say, Katie Baltazar, I was looking at the screen, Katie Baltazar is on, and congratulations, Katie, one of a handful of people who were able to get their nominations confirmed over at the legislature. Yes, going to be running KGTF for another, 6 months, something like that. 888-8255, that's 888-8255. Mike's getting the phone right now if somebody wants to call in and chime about something. But yesterday... No, let me do this first because the numbers are starting to come up. Can we cheers? Thank you.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Lady D is up early this morning, and she got all kinds of comments based on a story that she saw on PNC last night. We'll play around with that here in just a second. I see James Howard, Denise, and Nick Perlowski. Brad Hewitt, who says, my math better than your math. Actually, I know Brad. He's a smart guy. He might be able to help me resolve this problem that they're having over at the Guam Election Commission. Actually, it's not true. They don't think they've got a problem. Everybody is disagreeing with that. Ken Leon Guerrero says, based on the Post headlines, the circus continues. We'll get into some circus this morning. Now, I'm saying let's math, babe. I'll see what we can do to show the epic battle that is shaping up just on mathematics. Who else is there? I see Carmen Leon Guerrero, Joe Flores, Richard Yu. I know that guy, Ismael Velez. Theoretical math. Math utilized when calculating probabilities. 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. That's Kenjo Ada approved theoretical math. Ken LeGuatnia is on. Anita Moffness. Hello, classmate. Nice to see Mary Park there. Valerie Lynn Maigi. Lou Sanchez, Auntie Lou, the other I'm in, is on. John Rain, Lynn Vince, Borja Polino, Lynn Perez, Hoffa Greg Karabrock, Jan Mabini, I see. Andrew Santos, Tarenko, Carl Pangilinan, who again helped me out with today. Yesterday he said new moon on Monday in honor of the new moon. and what some people consider kind of a political reboot over the weekend's election. But Carl helped me out with this. I was trying to come up with something, like a recount me in or something like that, and he came up one better. So he called it Retally Tuesday. I said Retaliation Tuesday, and we both thumbs up each other like bromancers do, and that's how I got to that today. Cousin Tommy Barcinas is there, Jan Mabini, Mark Mendiola. There's Doris Doug Mitchell, Dion Shinohara, Andy Tydenko, Joey Charfaris. It's just everybody's here. Ray Souza is checking in from off islands. I see a stranger named Michael Williams and Zaywert. I already told you I like saying that name, Zaywert France Julian. Good morning all around from the beautiful island of Guam. Change is coming. Yes, we're all going to have to figure out math again. Hey, Paul Barron, good to see you there. Adonis Mendiola, Nate Horn. The first step is admitting that there's a problem. I am math deprived. Good. I got a lawyer on the line. Sahara Defensor is there. That's good. That's good. All right, so we've got a little bit of adult supervision. Holistically speaking, if you have two, you must have one. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate the reminder. 6:23 in the morning. Today's going to be that kind of morning. Who is there? Who's there? Oh, Kellis. Kellis is on. You want to talk about the Unity Pledge? Go ahead. Good morning, Kel.
Good morning. I was just wondering, were the ballots in agate stored in a cooler?
You remember that story, huh?
Yes, but I was actually calling because I with the Unity Pledge and everything.
Yeah.
Since I already heard that they're saying once they're so close, they will automatically recount. Right? It's an automatic recount. So why are they requesting a recount?
Because there's a dispute over the mathematics on whether or not it is actually automatic. The law states, and I had the Guam Code annotated up here, Chapter 5 of the GCA. It's a short piece, so let me just read it to you. According to GCA Title 3, if the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. So there we are. So what we have to determine here is how to get to 2%.
Well, I thought we're at like 1 point something.
Depends on whose math you're looking at.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Kenjo, we're at like 25. So
If Kenjo was at 25, then it would be 50.
If you have none, you have to have 25.
Okay, so there's the crux of our issue here, is how do we the law does not state how we calculate the difference. What numbers run into the difference? How do we determine that? So I assume that it would be this. This is Ray math number one, right? I would assume that it would be you take the 8,218 that Lou got and the 7,958 that Frank got. That equals 16,176. You would divide 260 by 16,176, and you get one number if you do it that way.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's another way to do it. There's somebody had sent me a calculation online that does the same thing, except it uses an average of the two numbers, of the two vote numbers. So instead of, I'm serious, that's how they say you determine the percentage of difference. It's its own specific formula, the percentage of difference. So 260 divided by then 8,088, in which case you'd get a number less than 2. And then there's the one that the Election Commission, by their own numbers, says the percentage of votes that Lou got was 32.14. The percentage of votes that Frank got was 31.12.
Isn't all of that still coming down to less than 2?
That's what I'm looking at. No, I'm just looking at the formulas right now. I haven't actually done the math. And then there's math number 4, which is 260 divided by 8,218, which is less than 2. 260 divided by 7,958, which is less than 2.
You know, if you eventually keep doing it, you'll end up with something more than 2.
That's right. That's right. The first calculation, math number 1, you come up with a number more than 2.
Oh, my gosh. Well, but is that taking into consideration because I thought they don't look at the absentee ballots and all that until after, because if there are 200, for example, absentee ballots, then they'll automatically have to count the absentee ballots.
Yes, they will have to count absentee ballots and whatever it is, whatever sense they're going to be able to make out of the provisional ballots that were cast down in Agate. The first question though is, do we want to have a recount? And obviously Frank wants to have a recount. Somebody that you and I know named Ken Leon Guerrero wants to have a recount. And you know, it might be just for the purposes of getting everybody to shut up. Just do the recount. Just run the things. It's not like we got to do it for everybody. Just run the things back through the machines. Have the machines calculate. Better. We can do it by hand. We're not talking about that many ballots, right? Just run the things through the machine. Find out what kind of numbers we come up with.
And they've got nothing better to do until September 10th when it's certified.
When we got to certify it. So we'll. In the meantime, we've got all of the absentee ballots that are going to make it back in that are postmarked by Election Day, and then whatever. Like I said, whatever we come up with the provisionals.
We won't have any of that hanging chat, so it's just the mark. Then you're going to have, it's just going inside, outside line. So we're going to have like 5 people paid OT. So, I think, for example, maybe the whoever is requesting it, either Ken LG or the Ogden campaign would probably, be willing to foot the bill for all the OT.
I don't know that it works like that. How did that work in Florida? Do you remember when Florida went through that disaster a few years ago with the hanging chads?
Hanging chads, yeah.
Did the lawyers pay for all of that, or was it the state election commission that took?
State.
I think it was the state that took care of it. Supreme Court said, yeah, they said.
And then the state paid for it to all up to whoever, like the Supreme Court or whoever. I love the hanging chat thing. So.
Yeah. Well, we won't have that. But if it came to bullets, I could see Frank's lawyers and Lou's lawyers fighting over what constitutes a fully filled in oval.
Right. And then what if it went outside the oval towards the other?
It depends on what the definition of is.
There we go.
Thank you. Oh my God, this is how you know it's gotten great. We are now talking about Florida's election and the way they handled the elections or mishandled the elections out in Florida. So that's where we are. Hold on, I wanted to take a look and see what kind of commentary we're getting on Facebook. I've seen a couple of guys that are all saying, okay, this is where the problem. Did anyone attend a basic statistics class in high school? The different formulas used is an example of what is wrong with the education system. Brad, I'm with you. I'm just pointing out there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably another. It's probably the 5th way, the Kenjo way of trying to figure out whether we are over 2% or 3%. And the decision is going to be made, obviously, this Thursday at 5:30 by the guys over at the Election Commission.
I personally like the holistic approach where 0 is 1,000 and 1,000 is 0.
We'll work through that. In which case, everybody wins. We'll need a bigger legislature, guy.
Can we have 2 governors and 2 lieutenant governors?
I don't know. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you pretty soon. That's scary. That guy works with electricity. 6:31 in the morning. Headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Avade and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Gutierrez-Bordallo and Rodriguez-Cruz gubernatorial teams issuing their formal concession statements yesterday. Both conceded the outcome to the presumptive winners of the Democratic gubernatorial nomination, Lou Leon Guerrero and running mate Josh Tenorio. They also pledged their support for the Leon Guerrero-Tenorio team in the November general election. Carl Gutierrez and Fred Bordallo placed 3rd in the 4-way Democratic gubernatorial race. Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. and his running mate David Cruz came in 4th. Gutierrez and Bordallo congratulated the presumptive winners and stated they wholeheartedly respect the choice of our people. They expressed the hope that Leon Guerrero and Tenorio would bring Guam back to the very best of Guam again. Rodriguez and Cruz, meanwhile, congratulated the unofficial victors of the primary, and they called on voters to elect a majority of Democrats to the legislature in November. Former public auditor Doris Flores Brooks was the unchallenged winner of the Republican delegates race on Saturday. She'll now face Democrat Senator Michael San Nicolas for Guam's lone seat in the U.S. House of Representatives after he defeated incumbent delegate Madeline Bordallo. Brooks issued a statement yesterday saying now that the primary is behind us, it's time to move on to the general election. But before doing so, she said that she thanked every person who encouraged her and voted for her to be the Republican nominee for Guam's delegate to Congress. An assistant operations manager at the Port Authority of Guam remains on the job despite the findings of a civil service staff investigation, which concluded he provided false information on his job application. The CSC verbally advised the Port Authority 3 weeks ago to restart the hiring process after learning that Christopher Regis, the person who was hired, had falsely listed his position with a former employer. Yesterday, the Port Authority said it's waiting on a written notice from the Commission before restarting the hiring process. Regis listed his prior employer as Matson. However, the CSC staff found that he was actually employed by DSG, which does subcontracting work for Matson. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 6:33, and that's iConnect. They are the practical choice. In fact, maybe I should go and talk to somebody over at iConnect on which mathematics I have to use to sort all of this stuff out, to make it easy for the Guam Election Commission and make it so that not everybody in the world is mad at them. Hey, it's the math. Don't blame me. It's math. Where was I? Oh, yeah, the practical choice. You shouldn't pay any more than you need to for mobile and internet and push to talk. Find out why iConnect is the practical choice today.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Adkins Kroll.
It's time for a Wendy's break. You know, it's always time for a Wendy's break. You just look at your watch and say that. Yeah, I'm hungry now. Wendy's 4 for $4. Giving customers great value every day for $4. You can have 8 options to choose from, including all-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, which comes with bacon in it, the Crispy Chicken BLT, which also bacon, or the Double Stack Sandwich, all come with complete with nuggets and fries and a drink. It's Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MoricoEquipment.com. Call Morico on Ipao Road at 649-1946.
Gotcha. Portions of the program also brought to you by my friends over at Subway. And I think I got them coming in this week. I think the Subway guys are going to bring me some chow to eat, including maybe some signature wraps, delivering crave-worthy sandwiches that are filling and delicious. The wraps loaded with meat, packed with flavor. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
There's no traffic. No, it's too early for traffic. 6:36 in the morning. Everybody is oohing and eyeing over the moon, is working out their calculators, trying to figure out what the percentage of the difference is and all the different formulas that you're going to work on. Yeah, I'm looking at traffic building in some of the usual places near some of the schools, but nothing that's going to be slowing you down right now. 6:36. That's right now. Traffic here on The Point.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital x-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
I got 638. What have I got in my hands? It's also going to make things interesting. You remember yesterday I had gone over the 3 epic battles that are going to be taking place. We've got whoever is going to be the winner of the recount, the retaliation, if you want to, over at the Guam Election Commission versus the Calvo Tenorio administration. That's number 1. Epic battle number 2 is going to be Mike Sinicolas and versus Doris Flores Brooks. Mike Sinicolas on Facebook yesterday saying, I'm not taking any more interviews. I've notified my friends in the media that I will not be conducting any further interviews at this time because I want to give an opportunity for Congresswoman Madeline Zebra-Dalio to go get her victory lap, to make it's whatever it is, get the swan song or the standing ovation that she deserves after such a great career. Although, in my mind, though, Kev, I don't think it's over. Have you had a chance to talk to Madeline yet?
I have not.
Neither have I. I'll bet you she finds something. I'll bet you she finds something that she can run for and live out the rest of her days. Did the Congresswoman think 16 years, a lot of years at the legislature, 8 years as the lieutenant governor of Guam?
A lot of experience there.
She doesn't know how not to work, so it would surprise me if that didn't. Then, of course, there's the other epic battle, and that is going to be Doug Moylan versus Levin Camacho. And he sent out a release that I got my hands on. Thanks very much, Kevin. And the interesting line here, among many interesting lines that he was talking about having now debated Levin. I believe that he is incapable of serving as I did. So this is we've gone from Eric the Eagle now to Eric the War Eagle. He could not enforce the law in the face of gubernatorial resistance, including from his own cousin's administration, as I did, win before the United States Supreme Court. And at the same time, protect you in your homes whilst increasing child support collections. Eric the War Eagle. I'm going to keep that. We got to keep that sound effect. We got to keep that. We just use that all the time. Whenever somebody comes out and just does one of these moments, like I'm disagreeing with you publicly and I'm going to embarrass you and I'm going to shame you, I think that's when we ought to take advantage of the fact that we've got this sound effect. Nice. God, don't you love radio? Isn't this the best part of your day? Hanging out with me on the point. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. And so, wait a second. Okay, so the important conversations that we've got to take here are going to be, we ought to just have you in. Can you just come here before you go to work every day, Maria?
No, it's okay. You're too far up from the gut now.
You just, you know what, I'm not going to ask you to pick up coffee, but while you're getting the dots over at the Shell station, grab some coffee. Just while you're there. Okay, so we are in the midst now of what I think are 4 different mathematic formulas that you can use, you might be able to use. I've yet to find, and I would suggest that the Guam Election Commission also find a statistician to make sure that we are using the right formula to determine the difference in the votes, the percentage difference in the votes.
Okay.
Because I know that the way I was doing it yesterday is probably wrong, but I guarantee the way you guys were doing it is wrong.
Okay.
So we need to, for the Guam Election Commission, find a statistician to take a look at the numbers. There is an actual formula to determine the percentage of difference between two numbers.
And that's, again, based on the law. So it will all be discussed on Thursday, and I'm sorry, Ray, I may have given you the wrong time yesterday, but the Guam Election Commission reconvene meeting is Thursday at 5:30.
Thursday, 5:30, and that ought to be like one of the first things they chew through, right?
I'm sorry?
That ought to be one of the first things that they get through.
That's correct.
Okay, and then there's the other story that I was looking at here. Was that today's worst? What happened to? Oh, there. Precinct officials claim ballot tampering. Is there going to be a little bit more of an investigation that goes on based on some of the points that were brought up by Janessa Corpus?
I had talked to her myself, and I'm going to bring her in again today to make sure, because what she told me and what she wrote are two different things.
Ah.
And I was talking to her as she wrote.
As she was writing?
Yes.
Okay, and so how do you think that might have affected the nature of what she wrote versus what is being complained, or what the points that she made with John O'Connor in the Daily Post?
Well, she left the night of tabulation. She wasn't there toward the end, so they had finished the accounting and they were cleared out of the election return center.
Mm-hmm.
So we, of course, because the complaint came in yesterday, we would take a look at it.
Okay, and because there are some serious issues. It sounds like it starts with mishandling of the affidavit envelope and the provisional ballots that were supposed to be put in there, and then it just got worse from there. They tried to do something, and then that made the situation worse. And now they were talking about blaming a police officer.
No, Ray Gibson. All the as far as I can see, all the ballots were accounted for. The only thing is if I remember correctly, one of the incorrect ways they handled the ballot was they cast the provisional ballots in the ballot box. But when they opened the ballot box, they were able to tell which ones were the provisional ballots.
How were they?
That's the correct way.
How were they able to do that?
Because of the way they were packaged.
So they were still intact and able to separate those from the ballots that had been cast with proper identifications and with proper voter credentials.
That's correct.
So how did they? There were also places where they did not balance out between categories.
Well, she wouldn't know that because she didn't stay till the very end.
Was she involved in the initial count?
Yes. But then how it happens, and I need to call her in again because because what she wrote again was different than what she was telling me. But she wasn't there at the end when they were clearing the precinct.
So they were able to resolve. Number one, they were able to identify the provisional ballots, separate those from the main body of other ballots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then any issues with misthrown ballots, party ballots that might have been mixed up with the OPA ballots that might have been slipped up with the congressional ballots, those were all resolved as well.
Okay, so I don't have the information in front of me, but I believe that's what happened in their precinct, where when they were restacking the ballots into the different types,
mm-hmm.
they found the ballots that they were looking for, and we'll take a look at it. The process is, Ray Gibson, they would have an Election Commission Form 13. That's the reconciliation form. So we take a look at that and compare it to the machine count,
mm-hmm.
and we'll see what the difference is. And if there's a big difference, then there needs to be more investigation. If there's no difference, then it means it's totally reconciled.
Okay, so but still, there's going to be a secondary conversation with Jessalyn. Or sorry, Janessa. Yeah, so another conversation with Janessa and see if we can get some kind of closure based on what she told John O'Connor, what she written down, and what she told you.
Thank you very much. Yes, that's going to happen.
Okay. All right. Now, getting back to the recount thing, just because that's the most fun that I'm going to have today, is talking about the recount. What will it take to do a recount? Because it seems to me that the smart thing to do at this point, if I was the boss of the Guam Election Commission, would be, just wheel out the machines, plug them in, feed the ballots in, and get it done and over with.
And that would be the decision of the Guam Election Commission.
Right. How would it be as easy as I just said? I mean, is it how it's not like we have to rent the field house again, right?
No. We just, and it would be just the one that it would just be the partisan ballot.
Right. So it's not like we're not going to redo the OPA. We're not going to do Congress. None of that.
No, it would be just that the question, the one that's being requested.
And where are those ballots now? Are they under any kind of seal or guard?
They're locked. I have the key. If you want to get in, you have to come and get the key from me.
So it's not like, I'm sorry, this is me just making trouble. It's not like they're in the vault at the Bank of Guam.
No. No. And there are cameras.
It's not at Denancy Security, right? It's
there are cameras outside the doors, outside the exit door, and there's a camera inside.
All right, and there's one lock and one key, and Maria has all of the access to all of that, so we don't have to worry that somebody else is going to roll in there and swipe the ballot, not take some out or put too many more in, right?
That's correct.
Okay. If I was Frank's lawyer. I'm not, and I forgot to go to law school, so I don't know, just how much veracity I can put behind this. But if I was Frank's lawyer, could I have my people observe the process?
It would be a public meeting.
The recount would qualify as a public meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so so there would be observers right outside, or not where the counting is, but there could be observers right there.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the questions I got for you. Otherwise, we still have to wait out a Thursday at 5:30 meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
And thank you for being very cordial on this one.
What is Maria? They're just things that go on. I don't know which mathematics is the right one. I didn't. Can I just tell you that Father Miguel failed me at math at Father Duenas in my senior year? I had to go to summer school for math.
Well, in my office, I have 3 merit scholars. So there you go.
Yeah. So three merits. Do you have any statisticians? Apparently, that's what we need.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure we use the right math. I got to run. I got my uncle on the other line.
Thank you, Ray Gibson.
All right, Marie Pangolin, and I'll talk to you pretty soon. I love that. She uses my name like a comma. Ray Gibson, this. Ray Gibson, that. 10 away from me. Uncle Robert, how you doing there?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ray?
I'm okay. I was watching you on TV. And you know what? You and on election night, I was watching on TV, you and Joanne Brown like to use at the end of the day a lot.
Well, right now we're at the beginning of the day.
It's a beautiful thing, too. We got so much to talk about. Anyway, so 2-minute recap, if you don't mind, on the election. You're just your observances, and we can start with the gubernatorial. We'll make our way into the OPA, Congress, and AG.
Okay. Well, the gubernatorial, obviously, Frank and Lou were in obviously they were the 2 candidates that were most at it, and it, based on just kind of different sources that people were giving me, the results reflected that they were pretty close. The big surprise, of course, was Mike St. Nicholas winning, although I had the sense that he was going to get close, maybe 45%, but that was pretty surprising. Right. And so the OPA and the AG are pretty much what I expected. So
very interesting races there. Although the AG race I think is going to get interesting. Doug is he's what's the word I'm looking for? Totally offensive right now, and I don't mean that. I mean that tactically. He is in offense mode. He recognizes that he is in the fight for his life, and he's going for it. He's going for it. Like I said.
That's what he does.
And isn't that what you want in an attorney general? I don't know. But we get into a couple of other very, very interesting things. You talk about the scenarios here, and something I didn't make too much of it yesterday. I got a couple of phone calls, and I was reading up on a couple of other things. The difference is in the gubernatorial race, and why this recount is going to end up being very, very important, is you got to recognize what is at stake here. Lou and Josh spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and have a war chest of up to $1 million that they might have already dipped deep into in order to get as close as they did, in order to get 260 votes over Frank and Alicia, who I don't think spent any more than about $25-$30 on a couple of signs, right? Some stickers, got those nice shirts. They got nice shirts, Uncle Robert.
Yeah. Well, the cost per vote total always makes for interesting political conversation, but it has nothing to do with this particular issue we're confronted with, which is, should you go to an automatic recount or not? And so that's the question before us. And I don't know, just based on my quick analysis, it seems like they should go to an automatic recount.
Based on numerical analysis, or just 260 votes is 260 votes. The question is already out there, and it should be resolved.
It should be resolved, and I'm for counting all the votes in.
Agree.
So that's the issue is how do you calculate that? And there's I feel like when I go get a loan and they start calculating the interest, I feel like I'm not getting the interest rate that I thought I was getting because they keep moving the ball around.
Yeah.
No.
When
you calculate it 4 different ways, and the one that's most disadvantageous to you is the one they're using, you just feel like you're not being dealt with there.
Which is the way I've done it here, and I recognize that there are going to be people, and a statistician may use a different method, but between my Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and Math 4 versions, I come up with an even split. I've got 2 versions where the percent difference is less than 2, and I've got 2 versions where the percent difference is greater than 2. And it's the plain math, and then you've got math that's a little bit more sophisticated, dealing with formulas. And I'm not a member of the Guam Election Commission, but it seems to me, all things being equal, and if for no other reason, just to satisfy everybody's curiosity, let's do the recount.
That's and that seems to be sound very logical, but in reality, there is there has to be a definition of what are the vote totals that we're calculating the difference on, and if the vote total is what you add between Lou and Frank's votes and you add them together, and then you calculate what 260 meant in that total number, and obviously you get less than 2%. The other way is it never would have occurred to me to count it that way. So I have to go to I have to go to math school all over again and learn about numerators and denominators,
right?
Or I'm missing something. Maybe there's just a whole different process there at work. But in any event.
Oh my God! You just wait. No, there's a whole nother one, because Math 3. What I've determined is Math 3 is the Guam Election Commission, who says of all of the votes cast, the 32.14 were cast for Lou, 31.12 were cast for Frank and Alicia. But there's another way that you can do this if you just do the percentage of votes that they got between the 2 of them. This is all 4. One of them looks at all 4 candidates. I could do a Math 5 where it's a percentage based on how many votes were cast for Lou and the percentage of votes cast between the 2 of them, if you know what I mean. Not all 4.
See, so for me...
This is like that premise in The Beautiful Mind. I'm going to go slowly crazy.
Yeah. So for me, it's pretty simple. You're talking about the vote difference between 2 candidates, so you count the vote totals of the 2 candidates, and then you calculate the percentage difference. But hey, maybe I'm just too simplistic. I don't know. But you're having way too much fun, Ray.
Isn't it?
And I just want you to know that there are really thousands of people involved in both campaigns who are, kind of grief-stricken and in some kind of consternation and all that. And so my heart goes out to them. But in reality, this is a really serious point. What is the, I don't want to get too technical here, but what is the denominator and what is the numerator? And so for me, it seemed pretty obvious, but that's what the Election Commission is for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure every maybe we should just poll mathematicians on what they think. Let's not just poll everybody.
Well, but they're not vested as members of the Guam Election Commission. They might be able to come in as some kind of expert witness.
Well, those expert witnesses have been called in before on cases like this.
So you're not the boss over at the University of Guam anymore. Maybe you could nudge Mr. Kreis and see if he could send a statistician over, and see if they might be able to. What do you think of his started up? He's already got a couple of stories written about him in the paper, some ideas on working with the military, closer with the government. What do you think of all that?
Well, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I've had lots of conversations with him. He has a certain equanimity to him, kind of a balanced approach. So he's not, he understands that he's on a learning curve, and he's learning a lot.
Did you tell him about don't take the last piece of meat or last cookie, or if there's a plate in front of you and there's one thing left on it, wait until the host says, right, and take off your shoes when you come in the house?
I told him, I said, whenever anybody offers you food, you always turn it down first.
Exactly. 2 or 3 times. All right. Sounds like he's getting a good. So on the Facebook Live, I got my friend who says, what does Robert Underwood know? He only has a PhD. What crazy days.
And I'm married to someone with a PhD.
That's right. There's 2 PhDs in the house. Actually, that's the way I'll bet you if I asked Narissa how to come up with a percentage different, I'll bet you it would be different from yours.
Well, I don't think so, because we've had a pretty avid conversation this morning.
I'm sure you've had. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Hug. Have a great morning. 888-8255. Keep that number handy. Am I having too much fun at somebody else's expense? Is that possible? Welcome to the Ray Gibson Show. It's 7 a.m. KUSG had gotten you. Fox News Live is coming up next. You want to get caught up on the world as we know it here on Guam. Tell you what, Kevin Kerrigan's got news from the Guam Daily Post. That's right after Fox News.
The U.S. Senate mourns its maverick. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
He was a brave and honest man. He was a patriot.
A bipartisan tribute to John McCain on the Senate floor. Fox's Jared Halpern, live on Capitol Hill.
John McCain's desk in the Senate chamber is draped in black, a vase of white flowers sitting atop as his colleagues meet for the first time since the longtime lawmaker's death Saturday night.
While John proudly served with us as the Senator for Arizona, he was America's hero all along.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer each offering eulogies as the Senate gavelled in.
As you go through life, you meet a few truly great people. John McCain was one of them.
A ceremony honoring McCain's life is scheduled here for Friday, when McCain will lie in state before a weekend burial at the Naval Academy in Maryland. Lisa.
In the meantime, Jared, President Trump just releasing a statement saying he respects Senator McCain's service to our country and that in his honor, the White House flag will fly at half-staff until the day of his burial. The flag had been lowered over the weekend, but then raised again. And the president had tweeted prayers for the McCain family instead of allowing a longer White House statement to be released. Veterans groups and others had urged earlier today that the flag be lowered again. President Trump makes a deal with Mexico, calling it one of the largest trade deals ever made.
This is something that's very special for our manufacturers and for our farmers from both countries, for all of the people that work for jobs. It's also great trade.
And he says he'll terminate the North American Free Trade Agreement, though the goal is to also reach an agreement with Canada. The progress with Mexico enough to rally stocks, the Dow back over 26K, and new records for the S&P and the NASDAQ topping 8,000. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin,
Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, Prime Loco Moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
My wife and I are really enjoying retirement. We hope to travel more to see our grandkids. But in the meantime, we're being smarter with our money. We switched our internet plan to iConnect and pay only $45 a month for unlimited service. Now we can video chat with the grandkids whenever we want. And our connection is great in Assen. Let's be practical. Why pay more when we can pay less with iConnect? Visit them at the Micronesia Mall, at Gagnon Shopping Center, or the main office in Upper Tumon. iConnect is the practical choice.
Investigators in Florida not confirming witness accounts that the man who opened fire at a gaming event yesterday had just been eliminated from the game.
Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams says no motive has been determined yet for the deadly shooting, but
as bad as this is, it could have been much worse.
Police say David Katz went into the Jacksonville Landing, passed several patrons, and went directly to where a Madden 19 gaming tournament was. That's when he opened fire. Sheriff Williams says it's likely Katz knew his targets.
This group travels as a circuit, so they are familiar with each other.
Florida investigators are in Baltimore, where police say Katz legally bought the gun he used to further investigate the shooting.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Meantime, court records obtained by AP show that Katz had been hospitalized twice as an adolescent for mental illness. A Texas company still can't upload instructions for printing 3D guns on the internet. A federal judge today extending a temporary restraining order in Washington state's lawsuit challenging the Trump administration's settlement with the company. The judge says allowing the uploads would threaten national security and public safety, though the ruling does not block the plans from being distributed by mail, email, or secure transmission. Actor John Goodman tells British newspaper The Times he was brokenhearted and depressed for about a month when ABC canceled the Roseanne reboot after Roseanne Barr's tweet about former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett.
He defends his co-star, saying, "I know for a fact that she's not a racist." Goodman also sharing some insight on how the Roseanne spinoff, The Connors, which is set to debut in October, will handle moving on without Barr, explaining he thinks his character, Dan, will be mopey and sad because his wife is dead.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only, Subway. Make it what you want.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid with the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. You plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy Style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy Style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan, and here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Ugan Limtiaco gubernatorial team has made an official request to the Guam Election Commission for a recount of the ballots cast in Saturday's Democratic gubernatorial primary election. The recount request letter was submitted yesterday afternoon to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. The letter cites Guam election law, which states that if the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. However, Pangilinan telling the Guam Daily Post that the vote difference falls in the 3% range and outside the 2% boundary that would require a mandatory recount. Ken Leon Guerrero of Guam Citizens for Public Accountability, which endorsed the Ugan Limtiaco team, also requested a recount, citing the Election Commission's own documentation, which he claims shows a difference in the vote totals of only 1.02%. The final decision on the accuracy of the calculations and whether a recount should be conducted will be made by the Guam Election Commission when they meet at 5:30 Thursday afternoon. A voting precinct official stationed in Agate is claiming ballot tampering and calling out some of her fellow officials for allegedly attempting to cover it up during the primary election on Saturday. Janessa Corpus filed an official statement yesterday at the Guam Election Commission, hoping to get the matter resolved. She told the Guam Daily Post that issues began with provisional ballots. Those are the ballots given to voters whose names are not found on the voter registration lists. The provisional ballots are supposed to be placed in a ballot envelope, which is then inserted into a provisional ballot affidavit envelope. Once an affidavit envelope is sealed, it can't be opened. However, Corpus alleges that the affidavit envelopes at her precinct were unsealed and placed into a supply box. She says the team leader realized they didn't follow procedures, so the provisional ballot envelopes were taken out of the supply box and, she said, shoved into an affidavit envelope. Corpus said she was concerned about the ballot handling, not only with provisional ballots, but also with cast ballots. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan on the point this morning, telling host Ray Gibson that what Corpus told her was different from what she wrote in her complaint. And Pangilinan said she'll meet again with Corpus to resolve the complaint. We'll have more news after this.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. A motion to place Eric Palacios' nomination to be director of the Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency on the floor for a vote yesterday failed in the Guam legislature. The motion was defeated by a vote of 5-9. Governor Calvo appointed Palacios acting director of the agency on May 1st, but it's remained in Senator Talina Nelson's Public Safety Committee. The senator has declined to advance the nomination because of questions over Palacios' conduct and what she believes to be the lack of confidence at the agency in his leadership. However, Governor Calvo disagreed. He called for the nomination to be brought to the floor for a vote by all members of the legislature during the session that began yesterday morning. Republican Senator Will Castro made the motion, called for the vote, which failed. Senator Nelson had objected, saying that she had made it very clear in the media the reasons why the nomination had not been advanced. And Senator Tom Atta also objected to voting on Palacios' nomination, saying that he would give the chairperson the benefit of the doubt that there is good reason for not reporting out that nomination. The Gutierrez-Bordallo and Rodriguez-Cruz gubernatorial teams issued their formal concession statements yesterday. Both conceded the outcome of the presumptive winners of the Democratic gubernatorial nomination, Lou Leon Guerrero and her running mate, Josh Tenorio. They also pledged their support for the Leon Guerrero-Tenorio team in the November general election. Gutierrez-Bordallo congratulating the presumptive winners and stated that they wholeheartedly respect the choice of the people. The Rodriguez-Cruz team, meanwhile, also congratulated the unofficial victors of the primary election and called on voters to elect a majority of Democrats to the legislature in November. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ready with a look at weather.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Weird day yesterday, and I got a feeling there's going to be a little bit of weird in the forecast today as well. Partly cloudy with isolated showers. Then afternoon thunderstorms with raindrops that feel like bullets against your windshield. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Highs around 90 with the heat index near 100. Expected overnight lows tonight should be 77 degrees. The sun will start hovering around the horizon about 6:30, go down by about 6:35. We'll see sunrise tomorrow morning at about 6:09. We might have another one of those fantastic moons, that moon shots that we had last night. Around.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of the full moon phase now, and it's kind of interesting as you go through the days. I go out every morning, and I check it out, and the sun, as it rises now, is rising a little more to the south. So I have more shade when I take my little top of the hour break now.
Yeah.
Before it was shining right on me. I'd like it, around the end of June at the peak.
Yeah, I think it's closer to an infusion that way. I'm not sure. I got to check. Yeah. Look at the maps. All right, listen, I got it. It's 7:14, and that's news and weather together right here on The Point.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Bistec tomorrow. That's the big deal for lunch at King's. Yes. I know how you feel about it, and that's why we make a big deal about it, talking about it on the radio every chance we get. They got a different lunch special for you every day, and if you don't like beefsteak tomorrow, that's okay, trader. But there's other things that you can get. You can get the pick 2 or pick 3 combos. That's the way they like doing it at King's.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
On my microphone, portions of the program brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, FHB, where it all starts with yes.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Portions of the program, my favorite portions, this one here in particular, brought to you by American WaterTech. Smarter water, better water. American President Lines, where they're shipping the future, Micronesia Renewable Energy, and Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Okay. It's math. That's all. It's just math. You just got to and math is not hard. It's just trying to figure out where the math goes. That's the real tricky part there. How am I going to be doing math here? What becomes the numerator? What becomes the denominator? And I pointed out something to Kevin, and Kevin just kind of rolled his eyes and said, "Shut up, leave me alone. I'm trying to work over here. I just don't suck me into this weird math land that you are in," because frankly, he had to deal with it yesterday. And we're playing around with it today as well. Because there is a Math 5. I just discovered a Math 5, and Bob Kelly, and Bob, you're welcome to call in and explain your math number 6. He says, I would use the number of difference of the 260 divided by the total votes cast for the governor's race in all 4 candidates. That would be about 1.0177%. I am a geek, so you know you can trust my math. You're a geek, and you've got a calculator, and I know that you know how to use that mathematics.
He's an engineer. He would create a formula.
But you cannot do that, because we can't look at all 4 of them, because 4 of them only 2 of them are what we're concerned with. We're not concerned about how many other votes were cast for Carl Gutierrez or Dennis Rodriguez.
Right.
That's out of the picture. We want to know what the percentage of difference is between Lulian Guerrero and Frank and Alicia. So I was looking at when they did the calculations for math number 3 over at the Guam Election Commission, what I'm calling math number 3, they came up with 32.14% for Lou, 31.12% for Frank and Alicia.
I see, and then they're subtracting those for the percentage.
And that's based on all 4 of the ballots cast in all 4 races, for all 4 candidates. If you were to do it, I think the right way, where we look at the percentage of votes cast between the 2 of them, it's 50.8% for Lou, 49.19% for Frank. And the difference, the percent difference there is 1.61, which is less than 2, which is should trigger the automatic recount. Right? Okay. And finally, a smart guy. Good morning, Simon.
You're a smart guy.
I've got 5 different ways to come up with this now.
Well, I don't think the problem is a math problem. The problem is an English problem. English, what do the words mean? What did the legislature mean when they wrote the words 2%? I don't have the words in front of me, but whatever words there were, the 2%, requires a recount. It doesn't say 2% of.
It doesn't say. It's silent.
2% of the total. So I think the goal of Thursday's meeting, I hope the goal of Thursday's meeting, I would expect the goal of Thursday's meeting is the Election Commission, and through its legal counsel, I'm sure they have their legal advisors, will have to interpret. Is it 2% of 2% of 30,000? Is it 2% of just the difference between Lou and Josh and Frank and Alicia's total? I mean, that's an interpretation of words. Once you have the interpretation, then you just do the math.
No, right, and there's lots of different ways.
All the math examples you're hearing are just examples depending on how you interpret the words.
Yes. So the thing that we all agree on is that there's 260 votes that separate at this point Lou and Frank. We can all agree on that, but it comes down to how do we determine the percentage? And as I'm pointing out here, you can determine the percentage based on the total votes that were cast for all 4 races, the total votes that were cast for just the 2 of them. Then there's another formula that asks you to take an average of the total of just those 2. And as you're absolutely right. We need to interpret this sentence. If the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. But it doesn't say 2% of what. How are we to arrive at that percentage?
Right, 2% or less of what? Yeah, the total vote between the contesting parties, or is it total? So I mean, they're just going to have to make a judgment call. I'm sure, having been in the legislature and you're working on stuff like this, you sometimes will forget that you could have you could have a situation like we're having now, and that's why we're all practicing being legal counsels, and yet 99% of us don't have aren't authorized at least to sell our legal opinion. But that's part of the fun of watching the process. It's critical to, of course, to everyone that's following this. We all want a good election. You've got some absentee ballots, which historically it's rare that absentee ballots are like 99% for one group and no one else. Generally, they tend to reflect the same percentages that the voters that actually came out to vote will. So, that's why, at least from experience, people are saying the absentees may not make a difference. Because I think they have 100 of the 300 were counted. They're waiting for the other 200.
Yeah, and those still have to be postmarked at the right time, and they still have to have been sent. According to Maria, she's not holding out a lot of hope that there's going to be a lot of them coming back, plus the provisional ballots. But if you add up all of the numbers, it still sounds like it might be something that will either widen the gap or narrow the gap even more. But for me, I think maybe the smart thing to do would be if I was the Election Commission, I'd say let's just do the recount. Let's get it done and over with. It's not going to take that much extra time. It's not that much extra effort. We're not doing the whole thing again, just a partisan ballot, and then go back to the legislature at some point and say, please give us the guidance that we need here when this comes up against how do we base this percentage? What do you want us to base the percentage on?
That makes sense to me. So I hope for the good of the community and to just bring, we want everyone to have confidence in the results. And if there's just any concern that it's not as accurate, we just want to make sure it's as accurate as possible, then let's err on the side of that. Let's just go, I'm with you. Run the ballots, run it one more time. I'm not sure whether you need to run the entire ballots for the other vote, for the AG.
No. In fact, there's no need to. There's no contest there. So it's just you pull out the same ballots that we use to determine to make the votes initially, feed them back into the machine. It could get creepier if you want to. I mean, if I was Frank's lawyer, I'd want to look at every single one of them by hand and see if there's an oval that's completely filled out, or was it just a circle? Does it look like there's erase marks?
That kind of gets into the silly season, I think. I mean, then every lawyer would have a right to watch 30,000 ballots. What are you going to do? Look at all 30,000 ballots to make sure? I mean, it's your right. You have a right to contest it. But I don't sense that that's where the candidates are coming from. They just want to make sure that the vote is accurate. I think, frankly, should have every right to express their position the way they are. And I think for the good of the community, I'm with you. Just run it on Thursday, or decide on Thursday to run it one more time. It's doable. It'll be fast because you're not running 3 ballots. You're just running the 1 ballot, and it'll be what it'll be, right? And then we move on to the next step in the democracy.
Yeah, which is watching the fight between Levin and Doug, watching the fight between Mike and Doris, and then whoever the presumptive winner, I guess, is still Lou versus Ray Tenorio, and watch them fight that out. From the perch of the Republican Party obviously there's a gauntlet. There's a possibility that you could lose Adelup. There's a possibility that you could lose. You might not be able to carry Congress or pull the Congress away from a Democrat. I mean, what have you been talking about with the boys? I mean, is there going to be a full court, go GOP press?
I think when you talk to everyone with experience, they remind all of us that anything's possible. So that's why we listen. I don't know, you're watching, but you're on the radio. I listen to you, so I'm listening and watching, and that's what the campaign is about. You try to present yourself, and there was what?
Yeah, but I mean, is the GOP going to spend more and do more by way of outreach? Obviously, we need the Republican Party needs to get people to wake up on Election Day on the 6th of November and actually go out and vote because they didn't apparently in the over the weekend.
Well, I think people, my opinion, I think people are making a little bit too much of Democrats and Republicans. My sense is, it's a couple of things. First off, we used to have 65% turnout in primaries, and all of us have been watching this. I've seen in the last decade, this is now going down to as low as 40, and Saturday was 55%. The community's participation in elections has changed dramatically in our lifetime, and I think part of it is because 88% of the people of Guam have a job in the private sector. They, and they're not dependent per se on whether Governor A or Governor B or Senator A or B is in office for their job and their livelihood. And I've heard some of the pundits. Saturday, I'd like to vote. I want to vote. Oh, my kid's got a soccer game. Oh, I got to work. If you were trying to go to Ukudu after work, from Tumon, let's say, to vote on Saturday at 4 o'clock, we try to get there, and the traffic from the road construction has made it very, very difficult.
Yes.
I heard some commentators talk about the turnout in Bentonville was low, and little things like that. Or, if it rains on November 6th, what does that do to dampen attendance? But we've seen a drop in attendance. Even though we have compared to the mainland, we have still pretty good turnouts. We've seen a drop. I think the number of hardcore Dems and hardcore Republicans, it gets smaller and smaller each year. I think people are not so, it's a small island. I may be politically against you, but my niece married your son.
Right. There was a merger a while ago, and we've got to respect that. Hey, dude, I got to run because Jerry Roberts is here for the Extra Point.
Okay, well, we'll be listening and watching, and please vote on November 6th, and let's see where we go.
This will be fun. I'll talk to you pretty soon, buddy.
Okay.
888-825-5727 in the morning, and a little bit of clarity here. It's not a math problem. It's not a numbers problem. It's a word problem. And the word goes back to the Title V of the Guam Code Annotated. Here's a guy that uses words for a living. And today, it's Tuesday. It's double Jerry Roberts Day. You get him on the radio. You also got him in the Guam Daily Post. His column is there. How to influence people you work with. Is that the correct one? I might have paraphrased. I don't think I wrote the whole thing down. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
How you doing there?
I'm fine.
Are you amused?
As Bill Clinton once said, it all depends what is.
Yeah, recall. The Work Zone, how to influence people you do business with. And if you want to know everything about that, pick up a copy of the Guam Daily Post. Here now for today's Extra Point Live is Jerry Roberts.
Question.
Yeah.
I got to ask some questions before we get going. Okay, Michael, how many friends do you have? Real friends. Real, absolute, down-to-earth friends.
3?
3. Ray?
What, like Facebook friends?
No.
I have thousands of Facebook friends.
No. Don't count.
Deepest, darkest secrets?
Deepest, darkest secrets.
People that
confidants,
could be
people
standing
that-
by your bed when you woke up and you wouldn't feel threatened.
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going that far.
Yeah, hold on. Easy there, big fella. Let me.
How many friends you got?
You know what? Total guys, maybe 2 or 3.
Two or three.
Just people that I would absolutely have no problem confiding in without alcohol.
Kevin?
That sounds about right.
2 or 3. Okay. Well, that is the topic of what we're doing today. Facebook and every other social network understands it. In fact, they understood it long before we did. I'm Jerry Roberts, and today we talk about what exactly do they understand. Up next, on the Extra Point, Twitter calls them followers, and LinkedIn they're connections. Facebook says they're friends. Whatever social networks you're part of, you may have anywhere from a few hundred to several thousand of these people who have signed on to get notifications from you. Friends? The social networks know that we live in a world where too often we feel distant from others and where we long for closeness. Many of us have substituted social media friends, followers, and connections for what used to be people we would see in person or regularly call on the phone. The Atlantic magazine is running a story in its September issue about the science behind friendship, and I wonder if you'll come away feeling the way I do about their findings. You may have tens of thousands of social followers, but the average American trusts only 10 to 20 people, and that number may be shrinking. In the period of 1985 to 2004, the average number of confidants that people reported having decreased from 3, as we had here, to 2. Scientists say we need people we can confide in, that it's good for our health. Do you have someone you can confide in? Just one confidant, or 2, or more? If I ask you to list the people you really trust, would your list reach 20, or would it be 10, or fewer? The research indicates that interacting with people with whom we have even weak social ties is a positive influence on well-being, and I've heard that before. The article quotes a study out of the University of Kansas that claims it takes about 50 hours of socializing to go from the status of mere acquaintance to casual friend. Got that? Put in 50 hours and you make a casual friend. All right, add an additional 40 hours to turn that person into a real friend. Ready to go up a notch? The study says that all you need is 200 hours to become a close friend and confidant. 200 hours. Then they say, if that sounds like too much effort, ready? If that sounds like too much effort, you can spend your time reviving dormant social ties. Too much effort? 200 hours? I have 3 friendships that have logged thousands of hours of personal time. For the Atlantic to suggest that you can hit quote-unquote real friendship after 90 hours seems, to me at least, a little bit ridiculous. Close friendships, real friendships, come after serious investments of time. After 90 or 200 hours, you can certainly be working on a good, warm, productive friendship and relationship. But it's not the same as those people you've invested in for years. So do this. I want you to download transcript number 142 at GuamTraining.com, which contains a form that will help you list your true close friends and confidants, those who may be just a notch below that, and then your good personal and professional acquaintances. This is your friendship inventory. Get on it. And once you've listed your real friends, call those people and tell them how important they are to you. And that's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and The Ray Gibson Show, starring a man who was a friend to all, I'm Jerry Roberts.
I love everybody. And I love everything.
Yes, you do.
And you know, the Atlantic guys, yeah, they're missing a couple of steps here because you don't need the timing is all wrong. You do a couple of shots of tequila, and you can cut some of those numbers down in half.
Down?
I mean, easily. I mean, and you know, there's things that you go through together. So you know, I put together if I've got a list of guys, and I grew up with. Say that the Father Duane is class in 1980, right? I mean, we were in school for 4 years.
That's right.
But for many of us, we had a relationship and solid, you know, grow up buddy relationships since I was old enough to recognize people's faces.
Thousands of hours
Right.
invested in each other.
Exactly. And since the graduation in May of 1980, we have continued to stay in touch with each other and stay tight with each other. And depending on what it is that you're going through, these are sometimes the people that you confide in on some level or another.
Exactly.
So it's you know, it's 2 or 3 guys is you know, paltry in comparison to, you know, a rich brotherhood that batchmates get when they're growing up. So I don't know. So I mean, the inventory starts with, okay, everybody in the Father Duane's class of 1980.
Could be.
And then, you know, you start working on, okay, buddies of mine that I know from work, buddies of mine that I've known from my career. I would consider you and I very good friends, and our other mutual friends and acquaintances. So, you know, I think we're lucky because we've got a large and rich inventory of friends.
And in Guam, we get closer to people quicker.
Yes.
Okay, we just do.
Hot Rod Hearts, man.
There
Saw
you
you on the road. 734. That's Jerry Roberts and today's Extra Point. Download what number?
142.
And find that at GuamTraining.com. Headlines from the Guam Daily Post coming up next.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
We didn't get to talk math. There were whole opportunities to get in there and get math, but listen, you can just 2 DJs. We're talking mathematics. It's basically an idiot swap meet. so let me do something that we know how to do in our best DJ voice. Hey, it's time to take a look at traffic right now. The traffic gizmo says I've got it working on Marine Corps Drive southbound from the up front gate at Anderson Air Force Base, moving through Jigo around KFC and those areas. We're watching traffic start to build up in both directions, so watch out for that. And Adaya over by Naval Hospital, we've got traffic moving up Snake Hill and down Snake Hill, and it's all congested right there at the front gate of Navy Hospital. Everything looks good south and central. We'll take a look later on at what's happening on Route 4 and the intersection of 10 and 8, 10 and 16. That's the next time I look at traffic right now at 7:35 on The Point.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Facebook Live and Evergreen, South Guam says, hey, use all 4 of your math methods. Take all 4 totals, divide by 4 in all seriousness. No, in all seriousness, he says, great show. I don't know if it would still statistically work out that way. And by the way, I started as Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and Math 4. I'm now up to Math 6. Just FYI. Because, hey, listen, if we don't have anything in the code that tells us where the boundaries are, frankly, we could take any number sets and see if we can apply them to come up with a percentage. And that's the sticky wick that they're going to have to get through Thursday at 5:30 over at the Guam Election Commission. Again, I think the smart money is, if it's not going to cost a whole lot to get it done, do the recount. Make everybody happy. We'll get the recount in, and then you send this down to the legislature and say, okay, this is your problem now, guys. You get to figure out when we say percentage, what we're talking about, how we achieve that percentage, how we get that number. It's 7:37. Headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: an attempt to bring up Eric Palacios' nomination for a vote by all 15 members of the Guam legislature yesterday failed by a vote of 5-9. Only Senators Will Castro, Dennis Rodriguez Jr., Luis Muñoz, Tommy Morrison, and James Espaldon voted to bring Palacios' nomination to the floor. Governor Calvo had appointed Palacios acting director of Customs on May 1st, but the nomination has remained in Senator Talina Nelson's Public Safety Committee. The senator has declined to advance the nomination because of questions over Palacios' conduct and what she believes to be the lack of confidence at the agency in his leadership. Governor Calvo then called on other senators to bring the nomination out of committee and to the floor for a vote. Republican Senator Will Castro made that motion yesterday, called for the vote, which failed. Governor Calvo, after the vote, issued a statement thanking Senator Castro for making the motion and thanking the other senators who voted for it. All I wanted was to get a vote on it, said the governor. In his statement, the governor said Eric Palacios would continue to serve in his acting capacity until his appointment expires on September 7th. An assistant operations manager at the Port Authority of Guam remains on the job despite the findings of a civil service staff investigation, which concluded that he had provided false information on his job application. The CSC verbally advised the Port Authority 3 weeks ago to restart the hiring process after learning that Christopher Regis, the person who was hired, had falsely listed his position with a former employer. Yesterday, the Port Authority said it's waiting on a written notice from the Commission before restarting the hiring process. Regis listed his prior employer as Matson. However, the CSC staff found that he was actually employed with DSG, which does subcontracting work for Matson. Guam Regional Medical City's open heart surgery program has resumed. GRMC held a news conference yesterday afternoon to announce the successful conclusion of 4 heart bypass surgeries last week, led by Dr. Noel Concepcion and his team. Dr. Concepcion grew up here on Guam. He's a graduate of Father Duenas Memorial High School. He went on to earn a medical degree and become the chief of cardiac surgery at the Doctors Medical Center in Modesto, California. He launched GRMC's open heart surgery program in 2015, but the program stalled after the hospital lost a number of specialty nurses due to the H-2B restrictions imposed by the U.S. Immigration Service. Dr. Concepcion explained that it took some time to hire and train new staff, none of whom are H-2B workers now. He said that the next round of surgeries at GRMC is planned for October, and he and his team will continue to train GRMC staff over the coming months until he returns to GRMC full-time in January. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Gotcha. Before we get into the iConnect time and all of that, getting word on Facebook Live and on the actual phone, 888-8255. Big accident in Jigo between the fire station and Hafa Day Market. Please drive safe. Guam. Lady D says, wow, that's right around the corner for me. I'll hold off on that. Yeah, we got traffic in both directions that are snagged up. I'm looking at the traffic gizmo. I thought that was just regular traffic, but apparently it is now backing up and slowing down significantly as a result of that accident. I don't know if police are on the scene. You can help out a citizen journalist, 988-5874 if you're anywhere near there. I understand it's a vehicle flipped over, right? Is that what we've got? So if
that's the report. Actually, we're getting it from the police department as well. It's actually 3 automobiles involved. Route 1 at Juan Jacinto. 1 auto overturned. Crews are responding. Both north and southbound lanes are closed, again, in Jigo.
Wow. Any indication of injuries? Do we know?
No, and I don't have a picture or anything.
So what you're going to have to do, and Jigo folks know the ways, is you're going to have to find a way to get onto the back road, find a way from around there to go. I think some of you might have to go backwards, right? And then go through the Peekaboo streets until you get to Route 15, and then you will join the line of traffic that will be trying to get in and out of 15 and 10 a little bit later on in the morning. Kev?
A message from Officer Paul Tapau. 3 autos on Route 1 and Juan Jacinto. 1 auto overturned. Medic 10 and Engine 10 at the scene. Both north and southbound lanes are closed. This is in Jigo.
All right, alternate routes.
Have a picture on your chat.
I'm going to start getting the pictures now and put them online. It's 7:42 in the morning iConnect time, and they are the practical choice. Push to talk, internet, and mobile plans that work without you spending a whole lot of money. That's why they're the practical choice at iConnect.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Portions of the program here brought to you by my friends over at Wendy's. 4 for $4. What a great deal on incredible meals over at the Wendy's place. And they've got all your favorites. They've got a whole bunch that they have added to it as well. So when you get by there, take a look at their new and improved menu and see what you like, including the Bacon Cheeseburger Junior, the Crispy Chicken BLT, or the Double Stack Sandwich. All come complete with nuggets, fries, and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal at Wendy's.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet summer deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra this summer with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more details.
Yeah, this is going to be a big problem for people trying to go north to Anderson Air Force Base, southbound Marine Corps Drive, as there is an accident. Multiple cars involved. Police are on the scene. Ambulances are on the scene, and they have basically closed that road down right now. So if you're stuck at the back end of a line of traffic, turn around, go the other direction, and find your way to Route 15. That might be the only way that you're going to be able to get to where it is that you're headed. If you're going to Anderson and you're stuck northbound, like I said, you might have to turn around and swing through Adakau and make your way up to Jigo that way. And it's not the only place where there are problems. We got traffic slowing down in both directions around 8, 10, and 16 on Route 8. Route 16 from the post office to the intersection is looking like it's slowing, and we've got slow traffic moving in front of Navy Hospital. On Route 4, Route 10, it's not looking so bad, but I can see traffic building up around the intersection right now, the intersection that will take you into the University of Guam. And before too much longer, that stupid light over at 10 and 15, which can never make up its mind whether it's going to let lots of cars through or just one or two, is going to start affecting traffic here this morning. You know, it occurs to me there's another one in Tumon over by Churrasco. I don't know if you've noticed this. I was waiting. I was trying to get to a friend's house on Saturday night, and I got to that light and waited and waited and waited. It will sit there and go red for literally minutes, like a whole song played on the radio before that light managed to go back to green. So maybe the guys over at DPW Highway can take a look at that. 7:45, that's the big deal on traffic. If you're watching Facebook Live, I do have an image of the overturned vehicle, and it looks like a couple of Good Samaritans around the area, either helping out with the traffic or looking out for the injured. If you've got more of those, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. That is the WhatsApp number for The Point. If you've got some great video, if you've got some interesting pictures, we'll be happy to see them. 988-5874. It's 7:45 on The Point.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sports Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sports Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Yeah. And, all kinds of helpful advice coming in from Point listeners here. Lady D says people can turn around and go to the mobile gas station, turn down the street, and that will take you to the back road to Anderson. Others trying to get their kids to school can turn around and go to the Woostig Road, turn right a quarter of a mile, turn right at FB, and you should find yourself at FBLG and Simone Sanchez. And it's good to have knowledge of the village. It's one of those things where it's a good idea to know your way around all of that, as it just is, ladies and gentlemen, one of those places. And thank God, there's enough going on up in Gigo and enough new roads that mix up with the old roads, so you shouldn't have too much of a hard time finding your way to Anderson Air Force Base and trying to find your way southbound if you're stuck behind that accident. 7:47 a.m. It is the Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be here at 93.3 The Point. Some interesting things that are going on. I was talking about epic battles, and we've got a couple that are in front of us right now. One of them involves Levin Camacho and Doug Moylan, and Eric the Eagle is in his war stance. Eric. I got to read you some more of this paperwork that he sent out yesterday. Just crazy fun stuff. And then we've got the whoever's going to win in the runoff between Lulian Guerrero and Frank Uggan versus Ray Tenorio. But also interesting is now this race for Congress. And who knew what was going to happen? I mean, when you went to bed on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and you're going, okay, well, I'll just wake up in the morning and see the results. Doris Flores Brooks obviously takes the Republican nomination, running unopposed in that race. And now has, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting, and I'm kind of curious as to what your thoughts are in this race, Doris Flores Brooks. Good morning.
Good morning, Ray, and I want to thank the people of Guam on the Republican side that voted for me. I was very disappointed at the number of Republicans who came out to vote for me. In fact, as I was going along the campaign trail, so many people were saying to me, "Oh, you don't need my vote." I said, "Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I need to have a good showing." I said, "Oh, no, you're running opposed. Never mind. I'm going to vote on the other side." I tried to discourage that, but I think more people saw it. There was more action on the Democratic side.
As a matter of fact, and I'll admit to being one of them, as I walked into the place and I looked at the partisan ballot, and I looked at Ray's name and I looked at your name, and I said, "You don't need me here." So I went and...
Thank you, Ray. My goodness.
And I know it. I probably should, but I went and I meddled over on the other side of the ballot, and I don't want to say gave my support, but I mean, I looked at the Republican side, and I'm not unhappy with the way things worked out for the senators. I'm certainly not unhappy with your nomination by the party to head to Washington, D.C. But I think there is still going to be an epic battle. You are now in competition with the guy that beat the heretofore bulletproof Madeline Ziberdalio. Does he have your attention?
Well, overall, what we glean from this election is the people want change. This is certainly an unprecedented primary election. Never before we've had 4 gubernatorial candidates. Usually there's only 2 gubernatorial candidates. And, of course, we've always had, Madeline has been challenged before, like Tony Babauta and now Senator St. Nicholas. So, yeah, it is an epic change. I was not predicted that Madeline was going to lose. That certainly is unprecedented. That's the first time an incumbent delegate has lost. So yes, and I guess the message from the people of Guam is they want change, they want action.
How does that change your strategy? I mean, all politics, and you can bring things down into a almost martial arena here, like war here. And the original plan was, let's Mike will take care of himself, but we need to think in terms of beating 16-year incumbent Madeline Z. Berdallo in the general election. And now here it is, the general election, and it's not Madeline Z. Berdallo. It's a whole somebody else. Have you had a chance to sit down with some of the brain power and the Doors for Congress committee and say, okay, well, how do we do this one?
Yes, I have. And really, I don't want to focus now on that. I just want to focus on letting the people of Guam hear what I have to say. And especially in the Congress, and especially in my role as public auditor, when you have something to say, you need to build a consensus, be a team player, and build that. Look at Congressman Khalili Sablan, also a Democrat. He got the extension, the 10-year extension of the temporary worker program for the CNMI. He
sure did.
Had to build bridges, and he had to build across the aisle. And that's what this is all about, building consensus. And, the advantage I do have is the fact that I will be working in a Republican administration. People in the administration, whether it be HHS, the Veterans Affairs Office, Department of Interior, and I know folks in those areas. So it's those relationships, those things that I am going to leverage. For example, I know Gene Dodaro personally, the Guam, the Comptroller General of the General Accounting Office, Accountability Office. So it's those areas that we need to build. We need to build coalitions. We need to build friendships. We need to reach across the aisle, and that. And in an audit, that's what you do. You work with, you may not agree sometimes with the outcome, but you work together so that the report is accepted. And I've been doing that for more than 18 years now. And not only that, but my experience in the private sector. I worked for the Bank of Guam for many years. I worked in other organizations, Pete Mart.
Well, it doesn't hurt that you're an educator. Now, I got to be careful, otherwise we keep doing it. It sounds like a campaign ad. I'm going to have to charge you for this. Let me move into something else that I thought was interesting. I was at the Rotary Club, and I was moderator for a public auditor forum. Doreen was there, and Yuka, of course, was there, and BJ Cruz was there. And they all had some interesting ideas on how to improve the Office of Public Accountability. But I thought BJ was much more direct in his criticism of the office, his criticism of the way that you were doing things, the criticism of the way that you were spending. Are you concerned that now that BJ is days away from getting sworn in as the next public auditor here and the person in charge of public accountability on Guam, are you concerned that he's going to be dismantling too much of the office that you'd worked so long to build?
Yeah, we built a fantastic team, and I sent him a congratulatory email saying, and which he did not respond to, saying, hey, there's a very professional team who are waiting for the captain to take them in the new direction, whatever that direction will be. So it's up to him now to decide. I found it quite ironic that he continues to bash me. And, roosters will come home to roost in his case, because unlike the Attorney General, which he has supported very heavily, he has not ever supported the Office of Public Accountability. That budget of under $1 million has stayed in that area for the last 10 years. So the roosters are going to come home to roost. For him in that particular area, because he has not provided financial support to the office. Yes, he does like the audit, but, he doesn't translate it into additional appropriation for additional staff.
And other interesting points. And speaking of staff, one of the things that he said was that it didn't sound like he was very worried about it. He says, I think half of the staff is going to quit when I go over to the Office of Public Accountability, just because I hope not too. I'd consider it a personal favor, especially if he'd looked out for Yuka Hechanova, who I thought was a fantastic second, and he will need somebody to guide him through that transition.
Yes, and they are the institution institutional memory of the organization. We've had good senior staff also there, and all. And they're very professional. And whoever is the captain, they're waiting for for VJ Captain Cruz to take them in the direction that he wants to take them into, and that is the prerogative of Public Auditor Cruz.
That's true. That's true. Captain Cruz. I bet he has that outfit, too. Quick question before I let you run here, because I know how busy you are and you've got a campaign to get to. Title 3 of the Guam Code Annotated says, if the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. I'm sure that you and Jim have had really interesting conversations on what the heck constitutes the makeup of this 2%. How do we get to that 2%?
The numbers have already calculated that it's actually less than 1%, at least by my numbers. You know, my math might be a little bit different from that. I saw the difference is less than 1%. So, and I believe there's already been a formal request. And the closeness of it, I think the people of Guam would warrant a recount.
I don't disagree with you there. I've done 2 or 3 different versions of the mathematics, and I'm up to version number 6. And I want to say in 4 of them, the answer that I come up with is somewhere between 1 and 2. So statistically speaking,
a little bit. 1.01% is what I got.
1.01 for you. Okay. So you and I are on the same page. Hey, look, if Ray Gibson and Doris Brooks say that there ought to be a recount, why does there need to be a discussion at the Guam Election Commission?
And of course, you know, the official Guam website says that Guam Code Annotated says that if it's less than 2%,
that it's automatic, but the code doesn't say.
And my calculation shows it's 1%, so it should be automatic.
Don't disagree with you, but again, the code is silent as to what the makeup, what the numbers are that go into the calculation of that percentage. Is it total votes cast in the entire race? Is it the total votes cast between the 2 of them?
If you calculate the total returns on the website by the difference, you'll come up with it.
Great. Well, as I said, you
and I came up with the same number.
Yep. In many cases, you will come up with a number that is less than 2. Although I'm sure that there are people over in the Lou and Josh camp that are saying no, the percentage is like 50. Get out of here with that 2 or 3. Hey, Doris, I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Well, thank you very much. And again, I want to thank the people of Guam who voted for me in the primary election, and I ask for the people of Guam support to put me in as your next congresswoman.
We'll see
We'll
see what happens. I'll talk to you later. What an interesting time it was going. Can you imagine? I mean, you build this campaign. You're the public auditor. You quit. You thought that there might be an opening in the race. You thought maybe that Madeline might be weakening and maybe aging in the job. And you think, okay, this is my time. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to be able to do it. So you get out and you build a campaign that is designed to take down a 16-year incumbent. And thinking all the way through November the 6th, these are the steps that I'm going to take. This is my strategy. These are the tactics that I'm going to use. This is the kind of spend that I'm going to use to go ahead and try to get my name out as a viable candidate for the position of congressperson after this lady has had it for 16 years. And all of a sudden in the primary, the lady that had it for 16 years gets knocked out by a guy from the legislature. Whose most notable form of promotion was cotton candy to the kids. Obviously, there is a sentiment of change. What's this going to shape out? What's going to happen? How does that change the overall strategy that you've got to have? Is it how much of it is the same, or are we going to see Doris Flores Brooks handing out? Well, she can't do the cotton candy. Doris popcorn. That's what. No, Doris Denancy, right? Because people like it spicy. That's the way to do it. And but first, we got to answer a couple of other questions. I'll get around to doing those in the next hour of the program. Blake and I are going to pretend to talk about sports. Kevin Kerrigan with the headlines. And you know what? Very, very exciting to me. There's a new car out there. Nissan has unveiled the Kicks. We'll tell you about that in the next hour of the program. Stick around, Brown.
A day of mourning in the Senate. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle honoring John McCain. Fox's Jared Halpern live on Capitol Hill.
With Senator John McCain's desk in the Senate chamber draped in black and topped with a vase of white flowers, colleagues are paying tribute.
John McCain knew firsthand the epic global struggle for freedom. And so he was freedom's greatest champion in the United States Senate.
Fellow Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake's voice was shaken at times as he said McCain was bigger than one state, belonging to America and to the world. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says McCain was America's hero.
The bond between John and his country was so deep.
McCain will lie in state at the Capitol Rotunda Friday. Lisa.
Jared, the flag atop the White House lowered to half-staff again this afternoon after it had been raised this morning. President Trump issuing a statement saying he respects Senator McCain's service to our country and has signed a proclamation to fly the flag at half-staff until McCain's burial, which will take place Sunday. The family of a victim who died at the hands of a shooter at a video game tournament in Jacksonville speaks out as they grieve. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, Elijah Clayton was known as True Boy in gaming circles. He was one of two killed when David Katz fired shots at a Madden tournament in Jacksonville Sunday.
Elijah's family wants you to know that he was a good man. He did not believe in violence. He never even had a fist fight.
His cousin, Brandy Pettyjohn, spoke for the family, saying he will be missed, adding that the loss of his life was senseless.
Every person who has stood in this position has said that they never thought this would happen to their family, and we are no different.
And they have asked for privacy as they grieve, Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. Wall Street, the Dow added 259 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
President Trump makes a trade deal with Mexico.
I like to call this deal the United States-Mexico Trade Agreement. I think it's an elegant name. I think NAFTA has a lot of bad connotations for the United States because it was a ripoff. It was a deal that was a horrible deal for our country.
Canada is not included in this deal, but their foreign minister is cutting short her visit to Europe to begin trade talks with the U.S. New Mexico prosecutors seeking to keep the 2 men and 3 women jailed on child abuse charges now say they've seized a document called Phases of a Terror Attack at the Filthy compound where the children and the remains of a boy were found. Tomorrow, Arizona will hold a primary for the seat currently held by Republican Senator Jeff Flake, who announced his retirement earlier this year.
The few Phoenix voters who stopped to talk politics told me they are focused primarily on one race, Republican Jeff Flake's open Senate seat. Martha McSally, Kelly Ward, and former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio all tying themselves to President Trump as they try to become the Republican who will run against the likely Democratic nominee, Kristen Sinema.
And I've been leaning towards Kristen Sinema, not so much the McSally and the other folks.
People who aren't fans of Sinema's fear the long-held Republican seat could turn blue this fall.
I think the one person that would have a shot at beating her in the November election would probably be McSally.
McSally's leaving Arizona's Congressional District 2 to run for Senate, and many Democrats think that is now a competitive seat they can flip. In Phoenix, Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Former President Jimmy Carter and David Letterman have helped launch a Habitat for Humanity building blitz in northern Indiana. The plan to build 23 homes. In a ceremony at the University of Notre Dame, Letterman noted the Carter's long involvement with the group, telling the 4,000 attendees that if it weren't for Carter and his wife Rosalind, he wouldn't have become a Habitat for Humanity volunteer. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid with the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. You plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only. Subway. Make it what you want.
7 after 8 o'clock in the morning. This is Ray Gibson, and we'd normally jump into headlines and news with Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post, but I wanted to jump in first and letting you know that the traffic situation up in Jigo has been cleared. The roads are open. I'm looking at the traffic gizmo. Northbound traffic still moving fairly slow through that area, and that's probably going to be the case until everything is totally cleared away. But the north and southbound Marine Corps Drive up in Jigo at the site of that accident is open now. Feel bad for everybody that left and they're now stuck in traffic in these little different roads, feeder roads to 1 and 15 in the back road. But that has been all cleared up. With details on that story and others from the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Ugan Limtiaco gubernatorial team has made an official request to the Guam Election Commission for a recount of the ballots cast in Saturday's Democratic gubernatorial primary election. The recount request letter sent yesterday afternoon to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. The letter cites Guam election law, which states that if the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. However, Pangilinan told the Guam Daily Post the vote difference falls in the 3% range, and that's outside the 2% boundary that would require a mandatory recount. Ken Leon Guerrero of Guam Citizens for Public Accountability, which endorsed the Ugan Limtiaco campaign, also requested a recount, citing the Election Commission's own documentation, which he says shows a difference in the vote totals of only 1.02%. The final decision on the accuracy of the calculations and whether a recount should be conducted will be made by the Guam Election Commission when they meet at 5:30 on Thursday afternoon. A voting precinct official stationed in Agate is claiming ballot tampering and calling out some of her fellow officials for allegedly attempting to cover it up. Janessa Corpus filed an official statement yesterday at the Guam Election Commission headquarters, hoping to get the matter resolved. She told the Guam Daily Post that provisional ballots were mishandled. Those are the ballots given to voters whose names are not found on the voter registration list. The provisional ballots are supposed to be placed in a ballot envelope, which is then inserted into a provisional ballot affidavit envelope and sealed until GEC staff reconcile the vote. However, Corpus alleges that the affidavit envelopes at her precinct were unsealed and placed into a supply box. When the team leader realized they didn't follow a proper procedure, she said the provisional ballot envelopes were then taken out of the supply box and shoved into affidavit envelopes as a way of hiding the mistake. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan on the point this morning, telling host Ray Gibson that what Corpus told her was different from what she wrote in the complaint, and she'll meet again with Corpus to resolve the issue. More news after this.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. An attempt to bring up Eric Palacios' nomination as Customs Director for a vote by all 15 members of the Guam legislature failed yesterday by a vote of 5-9. Only Senators Will Castro, Dennis Rodriguez Jr., Luis Muñoz, Tommy Morrison, and James Espaldon voted to bring Palacios' nomination to the floor. Governor Calvo appointed Palacios acting director of Customs on May 1st, but his nomination to become the director has remained in Senator Talina Nelson's Public Safety Committee. The senator has declined to advance the nomination because of questions over Palacios' conduct and what she believes to be the lack of confidence at the agency in his leadership. Governor Calvo then called for the nomination to be brought to the floor for a vote by all members during the session that began yesterday morning. Republican Senator Will Castro made the motion, called for the vote, which then failed. Governor Calvo issued a statement after the vote thanking Senator Castro for making the motion and all the senators who voted for it. All I wanted was to get a vote on the nomination, said the governor. In his statement, the governor said Eric Palacios will continue to serve in his acting capacity until his appointment expires, which is set for September 7th. An 18-year-old woman who said she was being held against her will said she had been sexually assaulted, was able to contact her father for help by dropping a pin in a WhatsApp map after the assault while she was attending a party on Saturday night. Jonathan Womack, a 22-year-old U.S. Navy sailor, has been arrested and charged with criminal sexual conduct in connection with the incident. According to the magistrate's report, the teen told police she'd been drinking at the party at a home in Chalampago where the assault occurred in an upstairs bedroom. She called her father, saying that she was unable to leave the home and she was not okay. She used the social media application's location tracker so that her father could find her. The teen's father then called police. Womack has denied the assault allegation and claimed the sexual encounter was consensual, according to the magistrate's complaint. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray now with weather.
All right, will do. Just a reminder that the accident on Marine Corps Drive has cleared, although I am looking at a little bit of traffic that is beginning to build. It was moving slower from about where McDonald's is up to Our Lady of Lourdes Church, but it looks like that is beginning to clear up and open up a little bit more. Maybe just a car got stalled or something like that. Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers, afternoon thunderstorms, because it's Guam. At this time of year, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, decreasing overnight highs around 90 with the heat index near 100. Overnight lows should be about 77 degrees. We'll watch the sunset go down about 6:35 tonight. Sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:09, 6:10. Speaking of things to celebrate, happy 25th. Marvick, I'm doing your thing now. Marvick's online, listening on Facebook Live, wants to say happy 25th anniversary to Fermin Pareja, the husband. I love you with all of my heart. And then she got the little emoji with the Valentines instead of eyes. That's one of my favorite ones. 25 incredible, wonderful years. I love you so, so, so much. I put my seatbelt on because it feels like you're hugging me while I'm driving down the road. That's why I'm the safest person in the world. It just feels like I've got your arms around me while I'm driving. You started it. Don't look at me like that. You started it. What was I supposed to? Wait, sorry. Because Kevin's waiting for, Mike's waiting for some other stuff here. We got to take a look at what the radar and the satellite imagery are doing right now. Let me click on radar and then click on this so that we can see it on Facebook Live. So for the next couple of hours, we're going to have really, really good weather everywhere except the island of Guam. That's the way it's been. We've got nothing happening out there, and then all of a sudden, crap just explodes over the island like yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of how things will shape up today. But the good news is winds are coming from, looks like the east to east-southeast. So anything that is to develop over the island won't have much of an island to develop over. So these showers will probably be hugging the western coast, which is really where most of the tourists are in the beaches. So, but it'll be a wet afternoon, I think, for folks on the west side. East side, not so much. And overall today, just going to be really warm. Well, as you can see outside right now, it's very few clouds out there, and it's starting to warm up real well.
Yeah, I'm getting warm in here just thinking about it. Just
here on the satellite photo, right under the point logo, you can see Tropical Depression 25W. It's moving to the north-northwest, not towards us, and it's going to curve a little bit more to the northwest, but it's going to pass north of the Marianas. This structure of the storm is not quite like the last one, although we're starting to see a bit of a monsoon tail form off the southwest portion.
That's what I thought it was. Blake, you thought it was a monsoon tail as well, right?
I knew it was a monsoon tail.
No, it's because you're good.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't. The current forecasts do not show us getting a rain event like we got last week. So this thing should pass through with really very
I don't know.
minimal effect.
I mean, in terms of rain events yesterday, because it hit me right as I was going running. I was going running, and I was thinking, I'm going to miss this thing. I'm going to miss this thing. And I got down into here, the Upper Tumon area, and it was coming down in sheets.
Rain
and
bullets.
I just decided I'm going to have to run in all of that. I don't mind. I like running in the rain. I don't like wet shoes and wet socks. It's kind of an icky feeling, but you kind of get used to it. And there was some degree of curiosity from all of the tourists that had their umbrellas that were looking at me coming at them, just soaking wet and water flying off my tan hard body. 17 in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet summer deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra this summer with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more details.
Yeah, Bruce is not very happy to hear the weather reports we're given. He says on Facebook Live, thanks, guys. My road's been flooding for days in Chalampago. Hey, you know, and it might be just like a dirt road or something like that, just a regular village street. I tell you what, there was flooding down here in the downtown area over by where the Sakura, is it Sakura Kitchen or Sakura Dining over here?
This one's Sakura Kitchen.
So what's that? Sakura Kitchen
Sakura
right
Kitchen,
here, right?
the dining, I think, is across from GPO.
Okay, so there's the at the intersection, there was standing water there, I swear it was a foot thick.
Oh,
just
really?
Crazy. Yeah. So,
after we get the kind of rain we got last week, you're going to have residual runoff from the higher elevations, and it's just going to happen that way.
And that's what I was going to say is to the listener's point is yesterday mid-afternoon we were talking about the rain. I stay in Chalampago, and about mid-afternoon it came out of nowhere, and it seems like it just sat. You know, like just like like the old Eeyore cartoons. You know, like just
moving
the
real
cloud
slow.
just sat right on top of Chalampago and just dumped a whole bunch of rain.
It lumbered its way.
Crazy stuff that we're having. And now, how many more days is it going to be like this? Because it seems to me that there's not a whole lot in the next couple of days, looking at the satellite imagery.
Yeah, actually, we've got a couple of days like this ahead, and then this disturbance that is passing to the north of us is going to bring a better chance of rain and stuff for late in the week and also the weekend.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't ruin the sunsets. I mean, last night, as I pointed out, got all done with everything, dried off, and went to my spot and watched the sun go down, and it was gorgeous. King's Restaurant, speaking of gorgeous things, beefsteak tomorrow, that's the big deal for lunch today. Enjoy that. Pork sinigang tomorrow, meatloaf Thursday, and beef tenactac on Friday, or the pick 2, pick 3 combos. Lunchtime waiting for you at King's.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sports Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sports Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
The Ray Gibson Show is brought to you by Security Title, when you absolutely positively need to know that you actually own the property you think you just bought.
Fuso trucks are sold, rented, and serviced exclusively on Guam by Morico Equipment. Available in van body, reefer body, freezer body, or flatbed designs. Fuso trucks specialize in the smaller delivery and service market. Perfect for business on Guam. Serviced by qualified technicians. Fuso trucks are part of the Daimler Truck and Freightliner truck family. Sales, rental, parts, service, and fully maintained lease finance from MoricoEquipment.com. Call Morico on Ipoh Road at 649-1946.
The Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by just an incredible gaggle of people who I enjoy working with. American President Lines, they're shipping the future. Guam Regional Medical City, who is going to, that's your go-to for all of your open heart surgery needs. Go see them. American Water Tech, Smarter Water, Better Water, and Micronesia Renewable Energy.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime, on demand at thepoint.gu.
Yeah, Bruce also talking about what he heard about Hilo. Something like 20 inches of rain fell on Hilo as a result of, what is that, Storm Lane?
That's right, yeah, Hurricane Lane. And actually, parts north of
great
Hilo.
wrestler's name, right? It's Hurricane Lane!
I think actually one of Kevin's coworkers over at the Post tweeted out something funny, that one of his rejected headlines was From Typhoon Alley to Hurricane Lane. They didn't use that one over at the Post, I guess.
What? Mindy's got a sense of humor. What's that all about? 8:21 in the morning, and we just yacked enough about all kinds of stuff, so we got to jump into this. It's time for sports with Blake. Hey, we're talking about Hawaii. Little League World Series.
Yes. Very much. You know what? I was going to say that yesterday. We ran out of time, and I was very excited. And since then, it was all over the ESPN, and even my coworker Aaron Tamayo and myself watched a little bit of the winning runs yesterday morning. So yeah, shout out to Hawaii. They beat South Korea in the Little League World Series. The team that beat the team that beat Guam, actually.
I'm not sure how to take this. We got from a listener a note here, said pass this along to you from the Dingerville Times. I don't know how much credibility I want to give an outfit.
Is that in Wisconsin?
Dingerville
Iowa.
Times. Breaking: Little Leaguer to miss last Little League World Series game for birth of his fourth child. Apparently there's at least one of these kids who doesn't look young enough to be in the Little League World Series.
What?
Looking for a picture. They've had accusations of that before. There was a once upon a time. I can't remember who it was back when Guam was playing, and we played against the team from somewhere, and they had, I don't know, pitcher or first baseman who looked like he was old enough to buy alcohol.
Yeah, we had one of those guys on our team in 7th grade. He was better than everybody. His name was Aaron Anzua, he actually lasted, like his skill set lasted better than everybody's up until we were about the summer between sophomore and junior year, and then some other people started catching up.
Well, that's why when you got kids, keep them in. Depending on what time of year they're born, right? So if you can, forget the book. I think it's Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and he made a pretty good case for if you have the opportunity, keep the kid in daycare a little bit longer than everybody else. You that way, when the kid actually goes to school with the rest of the batch mates, they're physically older, mentally older, and will have a better shot at being the leaders, the kings of their classes.
My sister and I we're both products of that very scenario, as I am one of the youngest in my class, because in Texas the cutoff was September 1st, and my birthday is August 15th. And so I was and my mom insisted I go to school early. So I was one of the youngest, smaller ones of my class. And my sister, her birthday's September 11th.
Sucks because you get your ass kicked twice a week.
And I was not a standout athlete. Up until I, finally, like at the very end, senior year, when I finally caught up physically. But my sister, who was she was born September 11th, so she went early. So she was like, I mean, one of the oldest in her class by by a long shot, and she was outstanding all-district power lifter, outstanding all-district softball player, volleyball player, soccer player.
Was she one of the mean girls too? Did she turn into a mean girl?
I don't think so.
Because if I was a girl and I had that kind of advantage, I would be one of the mean girls.
No, she's not pretty enough to be mean to people. She needs all the friends she can get. I'm just kidding. I love my little sister.
Family love right there.
I love my
Prince.
baby sister.
Demonstrating love.
Only I can say that. Only I can say
I hope she's not within hearing distance.
She's not. That's why I said that, because she still CrossFits and can probably
we're
beat
on
me
the
down.
internet, friends. Everyone's within listening distance.
Yeah, that's a touch of Texas for you right there. 8:25 in the morning, and we got to continue to pretend to talk about sports. Is IIAG. It looks like everything is starting to happen. I'm looking at the stories about the kids in the track teams.
Yeah,
that are out there. And I tell you what, I don't know what school he coaches for. I really should pay better attention because I always call him my friend. But Desmond Mendel has been coaching these kids. He took
Sanchez or Ukudu? I believe Ukudu.
Taking them all the way through summer. I watched these guys starting to work out early summer. So I got a feeling so they heavily Mendel influenced. So in my mind, that's the IIAG team to watch.
Well, I'm glad you actually brought that up because listen to this. So a new year for the IIAG cross-country season as the new-look Ukudu Bulldogs, they managed to win, Ray, their first meet against the St. John Knights. Now, that is of note because last year, Desmond Mendel III, that's just his official name, Desmond Mendel III, he was the coach for the Ukudu Bulldogs. This year, he switched over to St. John, and Ukudu beat them yesterday in the cross country meet. So there you go. You're talking about Desmond Mendel trying to show the Ukudu Bulldogs that he's moved on, but they said no. They took a bite out of the St. John Knights run, and the Bulldogs they win over the St. John Knights in their cross country meet, and the girls forfeited their first meet of the season, which hasn't happened in 5 years for Ukudu. Both female teams did not have. This is also for St. John. So both female teams, neither of them had the required 5 runners, and a double forfeit was declared. So St. John ladies didn't have enough, and neither did the Ukudu ladies. So it was a wash, double forfeit, but the boys went on to win and showed their former coach that, hey, you taught us well.
Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, so other crazy things going on. What was that, Mike? You wanted to add something to it? No, you changed your mind?
No.
Well, I made Blake stop talking so that we could make room for you. You're the one guy on the show that doesn't get a camera.
The moment went away.
I've seen. I got a couple followers because yesterday, right after the show, I got that picture from FD that I showed you. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah. I shared it. I shared that up. That was nice.
Did you? Yeah. And so for those who don't know, I'll send you to the guys. Actually, Mr. Bloss FDMS. That's Bloss with an S. At Mr. Bloss FDMS on Twitter. He posted the picture. It said, "I didn't see this interesting flare from the field lamp above when I took this picture. Thought I'd share it with you." And it's a picture of the Friars on Friday evening after the game as they're all taking a knee on the field after the game's over, and from the up above light, the field light, there is an interesting little light flare that's coming right down into the middle of the huddle.
Live, on Facebook Live right now. I got goosebumps when I saw this.
They just need to clean the lens on their camera.
Yeah. But that picture is actually courtesy, as Mr. Bloss posted also on his Twitter, that picture courtesy of Fred Rodriguez, and I captioned it with Friars with help from above, just because with Thompson and then of course Xavier. Very, very cool picture and very cool moment for them to win and continue their winning IIAG high school football streak to honor those, their brothers.
It's a great picture, and like I said, I sent it to a couple of people in particular yesterday, and my guess is that they were so overwhelmed with emotion they just haven't responded to it yet.
Right.
And it's just a beautiful picture. In fact, frankly, they need to print that up really big and stick it in the principal's office.
That's what I'm saying. Blow it up in the field house.
Put that in the gym, in the dressing room.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be motivation.
So, Mr. Fred Rodriguez, that was a great shot that you got. High school girls volleyball, to switch gears, Ray. That's what I'm attending this evening in the IIAG arena. Teton taking on Sanchez, 5:30. St. John at JFK. I'll be at that game. St. Paul versus Ukudu up north. Southern will take on GW as they make the long drive to Mingy Lao to do battle with the Geckos. I heard that gym was haunted, by the way.
Which one?
The GW gym. People tell me that sometimes the lights on, like the middle of the night, and there'll be nobody in there.
See, the crazy thing, though, is it's haunted by coaches and PE teachers that are still alive. That's the Ruben Candiotti. That's the name that pops in right into my head right now. Old Ruben Candiotti.
Have you been in that gym like recently, like last few years? No. Well, they still have, and
I think there might still be something to a restraining order about me and George Washington High School.
Is that from days of your as a friar?
Dude, I used to date a cheerleader there.
Oh, okay.
No, I used to date the cheerleader there. I'll just say that right now. I got chased off that campus more than once.
Well, Mrs. Sports is an alumni from GW, and I've asked her about the ropes that are hanging from the ceiling. You know, I guess it's the old PT test where you had to climb the rope, like they did in Porky's. In Porky's, when Lassie teaches the kids how to climb the rope.
I'm thinking of that movie. What's the movie where Chuck Norris is the little kid's best friend?
Sidekicks.
Yeah.
With Jonathan Brandis, where they fight crime together.
He shows them how to do it. That's such a great movie. Oh, my God.
But she said that they never, even in her time there, and I think she finished there in 2004, she said that the ropes have never hung down. They've always been wrapped up. They've always been wrapped up in the rafters, just hanging there from years gone by.
Send some guys from the fire department to go unhook that. That's funny stuff. So why were we talking about GW again?
Because they're playing Southern tonight in girls volleyball.
Okay.
And also, Academy got a short hike up the hill to face off against the Lady Panthers of Guam High, and Indy they'll fly over to Harvest to do battle with the Lady Eagles.
Okay.
Welcome to the shiny zone.
Yeah. There's always something. Squirrel, I don't know. Craziness here. It's 8:30 in the morning, and that's as much sports as we can possibly handle. It's only Tuesday, so we don't have to start pitching to the weekend, right? We don't have to start thinking about what it is we're doing this weekend.
No. There's nothing. Nothing yet. We got plenty to keep us. Oh, and by the way, GML. You just said pitching, and it reminded me. GML Orioles Astros Game 3 of that series goes on tonight. I believe. I believe the Orioles are 2 games up. So if they win, September 2nd will be the championship game because I believe that the Rays will probably.
Mark was curious
Thursday.
about the weather, and when it's this time of year, you don't really know until maybe a couple of hours before the game. But the game should be okay tonight.
Should be, and they can play through a little bit of mist, right? As long as the field just isn't a muddy, sloshy mess.
And I think at this point they would. They'd probably play in anything short of a typhoon because the season's a little bit overdue.
They got a lot of ground to make up.
From the Guam Daily Post, the back page, bottom of the fold, GRC EPOW to Two Lovers Point, 8.6-mile run. It is going to be taking place this coming Saturday. Start is at EPOW, showtime 4:45. You go at 5:30 in the morning, and the reason is because we want the faster runners to be finished by about 6:30 or so. It's an 8.6-mile run. It will take you through Tumon, then up Santos Hill. Oh, my God, how much fun is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even like driving my car.
Yeah, so you go up Santos Hill, then you go north to Two Lovers Point, and you actually go into Two Lovers Point. And there's another, it's a little tiny rise, but it's about halfway through the course, and trust me, you feel it when you get there.
I would say, is that road all the way flat? But it's not.
No, it's not. No, when you get to Two Lovers Point, when you actually get to the entrance, it's a little steep run.
I hear you get added points if you can avoid getting mugged.
No, there's no mugging up there. Actually, when you get around to the turnaround, there should be a very large Richard Taitigui size cone, and number 2, breakfast from King's. Okay, so I'm just making. I'm just having a good time. There's no Richard Taitigui cone. It's 8:32 in the morning, and I got to cut this guy loose while we're still ahead. Blake Watson's going to go finish the morning show over on 101.1. The Point, Star 101.
Yes.
This is the point.
Right, I'm going to Star.
And so we got headlines with Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. That's going to be coming up next, as well as an opportunity to talk about a brand new car that you will find where Maria Aurora is listening over at Nissan Guam. That's ahead right here on The Point.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Kazendo wants me to welcome Ray to the show. I'm already here, aren't I? It's 8:33 in the morning. 888-8255 is the telephone number. And right now, it's time to find out what's going on in town from the Guam Daily Post. Managing Editor Kevin Kerrigan, brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. 2 people sustaining non-life-threatening injuries this morning in a 3-car accident that occurred Shortly after 7 a.m. on Route 1 at Juan Jacinto Street in Jigo, one vehicle flipped over on its side. Medic 10 and Fire Engine 10 responded. Both north and southbound lanes of traffic were closed for a time, but the roadway has since been reopened, that by about 8 o'clock this morning. In other news, an assistant operations manager at the Port Authority of Guam remains on the job despite the findings of a civil service staff investigation, which concluded he provided false information on his job application. The CSC verbally advised the Port Authority 3 weeks ago to restart the hiring process after learning that Christopher Regis, the person who was hired, had falsely listed his position with a former employer. Yesterday, the Port Authority said it is waiting on a written notice from the Commission before restarting the hiring process. Regis listed his prior employer as Matson. However, the CSC staff found that he was actually employed by DSG Corp., which does subcontracting work for Matson. Guam Regional Medical City's open heart surgery program has resumed. GRMC held a news conference yesterday afternoon to announce the successful conclusion of 4 heart bypass surgeries last week, led by Dr. Noel Concepcion and his team. Dr. Concepcion grew up here on Guam. He's a graduate of Father Duenas Memorial High School. He went on to earn a medical degree and become the chief of cardiac surgery at the Doctors Medical Center in Modesto, California. He launched GRMC's open heart surgery program back in 2015, but the program was interrupted after the hospital lost a number of specialty nurses due to the H-2B restrictions imposed by the U.S. Immigration Service. Dr. Concepcion said that the next round of surgeries at GRMC is planned for October, and he and his team will continue to train the new GRMC staff over the coming months until he returns to GRMC full-time in January. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thanks so much, Kev. Furniture Kathy Style, located in Ganya, brings you that newscast open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy Style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy Style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
iConnect time is 8:37, and they are the practical choice, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fact. They don't want you to spend any more money than you absolutely have to on internet and mobile and push-to-talk plans. Find out today why iConnect is the practical choice.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Now it's time for a Wendy's break. Wendy's 4 for $4, giving customers great value every day for just $4. You now have 8 options to choose from. All-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, the Crispy Chicken BLT, or the Double Stack Sandwich all come complete with nuggets and fries and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
8:38 in the morning, portions of the program brought to you by Atkins Kroll, and they've got a great deal here going. Win a 2019 Lexus ES350 and support the people over at the Red Cross. Raffle tickets are on sale at Atkins Kroll. Drawing is September the 22nd. You need not be present to win. Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details. Subway signature wraps deliver crave-worthy sandwiches that are filling and delicious. The wraps loaded with meat, packed with flavors. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
I'm going to see if there's enough traffic to warrant a full traffic report here, and it doesn't look like it. Traffic is still a little shaky up in the Jigo area. They had an accident there this morning, and I think that's just slowed down the disturbance up there. Barragata leaning into 8, 10, and 16. Route 16 in both directions from Happy Mart, between Happy Mart and the post office. You'll find some issues there. Everything's cleared over at Navy Hospital, Big Navy, and Anderson. So I think you ought to be all right as you make your way through second string traffic. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's talk kicks here in just a minute.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Away from 9 o'clock in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, until it's not going to be anymore. And there's still some serious stuff to talk about. We still haven't gotten yet to the ground, I think, from a lot of people on what will constitute a 2% and less percentage of the difference between the votes for Lou and Frank. My guess is that they're probably going to go through with the recount just to get it done and out of the way, and then send everything back to the legislature and say, okay, we need more clarity on how to determine what constitute this percentage. So you guys work on that, and we'll go ahead and work on just counting votes and doing that kind of thing over at the Election Commission. I have not yet had a chance to talk about the we told you so deal on Eric Palacios. They did have what looked like an up-down vote on it yesterday, and it did not look good for Eric getting to stick around over at Customs. And then there's another thing. PNC has run a story about communications, I guess, between Ray Tenorio's people and the Attorney General's office. There was a whisper campaign that was moving around a little bit just prior to the primary election. I spent zero time talking about it because I felt it was exactly that until I actually hear from the Attorney General's office or hear that somebody is on a perp watch or something like that. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen. But there's other important things to talk about. Here we are. It's around that time of year, and when I was a little boy in the radio game and the broadcasting game, when it got to be this time of year, was when the guys in the car business would start rolling out all of the different versions of their cars, all the different models of their cars, and to a degree, I suppose they still do that, don't they? I got John St. Nicholas in the studio. Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Move up, grab the microphone. Don't be shy. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I just got to press a button here because it still says you're Kevin Kerrigan. Let me get rid of that. And it's
Sure.
the both of us. Can we see the Nissan logo on his? Okay. So, did you bring an umbrella? Nissan hat? Pretty Nissan tank top. Anything?
I brought a Nissan car.
Okay, so this is the way it works. I got some friends coming a little bit later on. When you're coming to the radio station, you think you're going to be on the show with me. Always bring goodies. Now, this is from a friend of mine who brought some goodies from the Dusitani, where her husband works. I'm just saying. Now, earlier in this week, I had a chance to go by Nissan. I'm delighted. Like I said, so in the olden days, used to be August, September, we'd start seeing and hearing more about the new cars. And in this case, it's not just a new version of a car that's already there. It's a whole new car at Nissan.
Yes, absolutely. It's the Nissan Kicks. I mean, Ray, I'm proud to say that this Nissan Kick is definitely going to kick butt. I mean,
I've been in it. I love this car.
It's amazing, right? I mean, so why Nissan? The big question is why Nissan? Why a Nissan Kicks? I mean, this is definitely going to be leading the pack in so many aspects. I mean, we're looking at safety features. You're looking at space. You're looking at fuel economy. Not to mention, I mean, all the fun stuff that comes with it.
So and that's the way it works for me. If I get into a car, there needs to be a switch that makes a light go on or off, or a little lever that makes the windows roll up and down in the back. I want a sophisticated key fob that will do everything for me, because it's not like the olden days. The olden days, you key, put it in the car, and it went on, and you had a little 20-watt AM radio in the dashboard, and that was supposed to keep you happy. But I mean, if for no other, you need to test drive this car, if for no other reason, to hear how great my radio stations sound in it.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're the only one that introduced the wording of...
We have RDS, which is a radio data service, which means on my music stations, on Boss 104 and Star 101, it will tell you the title and the artist of the song playing. There might even be a thing up there that tells you about great deals that you can get on Nissan Kicks.
Oh, we're definitely going to jump on that.
Right? We gotta, because it's right there where everybody... See, that's the cool part. You put the thing about Nissan in there, and people that drive other brands of cars will see it too, and they'll go, hey, maybe I should check this thing out. But the thing that got me was the overall design of the car. I like the coupe styling of it, and I love the idea that you've got a different color palette that's associated with this, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
And I can, I want to say it kind of reminds me of a little bit of the Nissan Cube, because I can hack this car a little bit, can't I?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with the colors, you're looking at like a two-tone. With our accessory package, I mean, you can actually change out, for example, you have a gray on blue, right? So you can actually change out the door handles. You can change out some of the accents to a blue color.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only ones right now that are doing that.
Well, and there's the one that I was looking at that I fell in love with actually had a white top, and I can't remember what the base color was, but it had a white top, and it took me back to the old days where cars used to come in two tones.
Yeah, it was a silver and white. Yeah,
and I saw Brian Downing. I said, Brian, let's put a vinyl top on that.
Yeah.
And he shot me that look like, oh my God, you're an old man. What are you talking about, vinyl top? But it would absolutely be perfect with it. And there was a little bit, and it's got some other accents on the inside, some other features that I thought were nice, like carbon fiber on the inside of the dashboard. That was nice.
Yeah, that was. That's for the I guess you would say the basic package, which comes standard in the models from the mid to the low models.
Okay.
So and then the top of the line model, you have more of a soft like leather feel on the dashboard.
And it's kind of buttery feel. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
It's got the newfangled ignition. Press the brake and press the button, and the car goes on.
And that comes standard with all three models, all three trim levels. Yeah, it comes standard with that.
Okay, so you got all that stuff going in there. Safety, very important. Big rollover that they just had up in Gigo this morning. Tell me about the safety features of this car.
Wonderful. I mean, parents, this will be a great car for your children. I mean, not only for your children. This is really going to target all the different lifestyles on Guam. But as for the safety features, you're looking at let's start with the front. Okay, so you're looking at automatic emergency braking. So what that is basically if you're not paying attention to the road or the driver in front of you, before getting into an accident, it's going to stop automatically.
Wait,
and this comes standard. This comes standard in all of the kicks. I mean, it's going to stop for you.
Have you tried it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go right now.
Okay,
it's got this Thelma and Louise moment. Okay, there's the wall over there, and we're going to be driving to the wall, and it will detect that there's a wall there and stop for you.
It's going to stop for you if you're not paying attention. If you start texting people, and which I'll get to later with the Apple CarPlay, where you're never going to be touching your phone again. I mean, this is a great safety, great, a lot of fun stuff.
Airbags, obviously, it comes with the airbags.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at 7 airbags. You're looking, I mean, when these things deploy, you're going to be in like a one big marshmallow. You know, it is designed to keep you alive.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered the front of the car. Now we're going to talk about the rear. The rear of the car has a rear. It comes standard with rear sonar and also rear cross traffic alert, which means a lot of times when you're parking straight into a parking stall, you can't really see the ongoing cars that are coming, right?
Right.
So when you're on reverse and you're backing up, it's going to alert you if there's cars coming in.
From the sides.
From the sides. It's gonna alert you.
That little car?
Yeah.
and that's standard.
Yes. No. That you're getting that with the SR model.
Okay. Still in all. I mean,
but it does come with a sonar, so you're still getting in other words, backup sensors.
Right, which is important for me because I'm a bad driver. Does it have cameras? Do we have cameras here?
Oh, gosh. It has cameras all around the vehicles. I mean, you're looking at a 360-degree angle in the SR model. So you're looking at the front of the car, the rear, the left side, and the right side.
Look at mine because nobody told me about that.
I mean, and this is something that Nissan is offering that you're not going to see in any other competitor. You know, so that's what I mean by we're leading the pack when it comes to all
obviously you got the rear, right?
Yeah.
And then it has the sensors to see if there's cross traffic. Yep. And does it have like a blind spot camera?
It has blind spot monitoring system. So when you're on the road and if you're signaling to the right and there's somebody in your blind spot, it's going to come out a chime. But if you're not signaling, automatically there's going to be a light on the pillar of the vehicle that lights up on each side if somebody is in your blind spot.
Because it has sonar and it knows. So wait a second, because I'm like the worst driver. I'm the guy that decides I want to be in that lane. Maybe I'll signal, maybe I won't. Right?
This is going to be the perfect car for you.
So it'll signal for me.
No, the pillar has a light on it.
Yes.
So it's gonna blink when there's somebody in your blind spot. For example, if someone's on your right side.
So even if I don't signal and turn on the blind spot monitor, it will still let me know that there's a car.
Yeah, the only time the chime is gonna come out is when you're signaling. So if you're signaling to the right and somebody's on your blind spot, the light's gonna go on with addition to the chime.
Okay, so you were talking about Apple CarPlay and maps and stuff like that. If I plug in where my house is, will the car just drive me home?
I mean, what car is going to drive you home?
No.
But it's going to direct you.
I'm just saying, it sounds like there's a whole lot going on with this car. So I'm just saying, from Santa Fe to my house, it's not that far. Just,
Well, it's going to show you how to get there. I'll tell you that much. And the one thing that I learned from you is, with this what were you showing me with?
I was showing you Google Maps.
Yeah, the Google Maps.
I was showing them Google Maps on. So you can, I believe you can plug in everything. So if you've got a Samsung, you've got it's
any type of smartphone.
Any kind of smartphone, but in Samsung in particular, there's I want to call it AutoPlay, which is their feature, and Apple Auto for the other one. Sure. I think is how that works. And so what happens is when you plug the phone into the system through the USB port, because it's very data rich and intensive, the CarPlay apps that you have will tell the radio, "Hey, I'm here." I'm here, and if it's an Apple phone, then it's virtually everything in the Apple suite, right? Virtually all of the apps, the popular apps, are apps that have been ported to the Apple Auto.
That is correct. I mean,
and Samsung, for example, there's several that we use here at the radio station that are native. So as soon as you plug it in, the CarPlay will come up and say, "Okay, I've got this, I've got that, I've got your WhatsApp is up there." I'm trying to remember. There's 2 or 3 others. There's a couple of map features that you can use, and people have found their own favorites. I think Spotify is another example, and certainly Pandora.
Oh, absolutely.
Those apps are already there. They're built into the system, and I think there's others that you can put in there. And so you can customize this interactive situation when you're not listening to me on the radio, when you're not listening to our other music stations. There's this whole other universe of different things that you can plug into, and they all go through. It's a Bose system that you have in there, right?
Oh gosh, the Bose system. Once you sit in this car, it just screams at you with so much fun and excitement. I mean, with the Bose system, there's something that we incorporated, which is putting a speaker on the headrest of the car, which is on the driver's side. Now, there's a function there that actually allows you to target the surroundings of the car, or you can put it within your personal space. And keep in mind that a speaker on your headrest, you're thinking, okay, what if it's too loud? The way it's EQ'd and the way it's panned out, it's so that it gives a wide range. So it kind of makes you feel like you're in a concert feel.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just when I first tried it, I was like, wow, this is something new. This is something that nobody has. I've never seen this anywhere else. And plus, Bose is a quality, it's quality sound system.
People know about Bose. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna love it.
I know the name, and I'm sure that there's other of tinkering that you can do with it to even further customize it. The idea is you shouldn't need to go to an aftermarket guy and say, hey, put in this sound system for me.
Exactly.
So it's already got top of the line speakers in it. It has state of the art in terms of the entertainment center on the car. You know, we used to call it a radio, but anymore it's everything including radio on this thing. So you're going to absolutely love it. And as I said, it takes advantage of some of the high-tech stuff that we have made available as broadcasters here on Guam. Only guys. This is the only broadcast outlet that is doing RDS and hybrid digital on Boss 104 and soon hybrid digital on Star 101.
Oh, that's
you're going to absolutely love this. And there's something about this car that you're going to like as well. It's got this totally new look, but it rides higher. It looks like it hugs the ground, but you've actually got a lot of clearance on this thing.
You got actually exactly 7 inches of clearance.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for Guam.
So I could take it to the transmitter site. We go up to channel 10.
Oh, then it'll be perfect. I mean, Guam, we don't have the perfect roads, right?
No.
So yeah. So I mean, with targeting the older generation, just for example, you don't want something too big, and you don't want something too small. So I would say this would be the best, the best option because it's so easy to get in and out of. I mean, I'm fairly tall. I'm around 5'9". I have a friend of mine that just purchased one. He's fairly taller than I am, and he had a really good amount of headroom as well.
And same thing. I got into the car. I didn't have to move the seat. It was perfect when I got into it, and so it gave me even more room as I was trying to maneuver. Okay, what's a good feel for me, and move the seat up and down. There's automatic everything on this, and I think you're going to like it. We were talking about it's not a big car, but it feels big on the inside,
yes,
and it feels roomy as heck in the back as well. I thought there's it's an amazing amount of storage considering it's like a circus tent. You look at it from the outside and you say, wow, that looks small. And then you get inside and you go, this thing is huge. It's massive. So you got a ton of storage in there, golf bags, DJ equipment, school books, whatever.
Definitely. I mean, with the 60-40 split, it does help with more room. Also with the telescopic wheel adjustment.
What's a 60-40 split? You didn't show me that.
Okay, so the rear seats actually fold down 60-40 split. So you're looking at 60% of one side and then 40% of the other.
I got you. So if you need more storage than what you're getting out in the hatch.
Yes. Not to mention, I mean, with the cubic feet in the cargo area, it's higher than all of the other competitors.
Okay.
So you're looking at the space of an SUV with the gas consumption of I would say a starting car, like a sedan or something small. Yeah.
So what kind of engines we get in this?
Are you looking at a 1.6 liter engine? I mean,
cool.
it's meant to. I mean, how gases are going up. Yeah, gases are really expensive. So, it's really not going to go so deep in your pocket. So it's made to prevent you money, to keep you safe, and to basically just make you enjoy your life.
Well, this is an automobile that you are going to enjoy, whether it's a first car for you or maybe you've got kids, a second car in the family. Wife's saying, I need a new car. And we're talking about, like I said, it's not a big engine, but it doesn't have that much car to move. So you're going to get very economical, very practical. You shouldn't be hitting the gas station all the time.
Yes, exactly.
is the point that I'm looking for. And it's sporty looking. It looks like it's something fun that you're going to love driving around on the weekend too. And at the kind of mileage that it gets, hey, welcome back to the South, guys. Come on, because you know how it is, right?
Yep.
Look at it. Wait a second, we got to meet up where in Mauricio? I got to stop by a gas station before I do that. Gas is $4.43 a gallon.
Wow.
So let's take your car.
Yeah.
What do you got? The car with the 25 miles to the gallon?
Okay, so you're looking. I mean, it's very. I mean, they're rating it from the state side, right?
Right.
So I mean, you're looking at 31 to 36 city and highway.
Well, that's still great.
Yeah, I mean, combined, you're looking at around 33, which is on top of the competition.
It's 30% better than what I'm getting. Yeah. So we got this great car that's not going to cost you a lot to use. You're going to love driving it pretty much everywhere. It will take care of all of your hobbies. You like playing sports, this is the vehicle for you. If you're one of those guys that you've got one of those social lives that takes you to the beach and to the bar and to the wherever. I mean, it's perfect. You can a ton of coolers in the back. It's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
All right. So how many do you have, and can we buy them? And what if I want different colors than the ones that you've got on the lot?
Gosh, we have so many different selections. We have so many different options. I mean, we really got prepared for this because we already knew once it's going to hit the island, this is going to blow up. It's definitely going to blow up. It's something that is going to target every single lifestyle. So we have I mean, since it landed,
got plenty in the lot.
let's not too much. I mean,
okay, but
they're already
again,
going out, so
the,
it's very
the
limited.
important question is, I've got some very specific design ideas, right?
Okay.
So I've got, you see your Nissan Red,
Sure.
right? I would want that as like a base color,
Okay.
and then I'd want that white top that we were talking about on the other, and there might be a couple of other colors, like a navy blue, or I'd stick in a door handle or something like that. I mean, is it, can I just tell you what I want, and then somebody will go and Willy Wonka it in the back and come out 10 minutes later and say, okay, here's your key.
More than likely, yeah. yeah.
It's that simple.
It's that simple, yeah.
Okay, and now we were talking about some sophisticated technology in there, and it's always important when we talk about technology. I did this with a guy on Facebook last night, wants to sell me this fancy video surveillance system for the house. I'm like, okay, two things I want to know. Where is it from, and is there a warranty, right? So the answer was China, and your warranty is 3 months, and I'm like, I'll get back to you. I don't know about that. So it's important to me as we talk about, this new technology, new electronic devices, new radios, and things like that in the car. You've got an incredible service department. Guys went to school on this car, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, with our engineers, they are constantly taking classes. They're constantly being educated on all the updates on Nissan. So we with our Master Tech, we have around 6 to 7 Master Techs, if I'm not mistaken, on the island, which is certified to touch any type of vehicle in the world.
Right.
Yes.
And now, if I wanted to buy one of these things today, you guys come in, take my old car and trade, paid for or not, talk to whichever bank I want to talk to?
Oh, we would take in anything on trade.
Nice.
Anything on trade. You got a bike? Bring it in.
Really?
Yeah. We'll take anything on trade.
I might talk to you about that. 8:59 in the morning, and that's all the time we've got for you. John, thanks so much for coming in and telling the listeners about the kicks at Nissan.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And you got to just go by and take a look at it. Trust me, you'll be satisfied. It will be worth the trip. The radio station is KUSG. I got you. My name is Ray Gibson. Coming up, I got Fox News Live. We're going to spend some time talking about the Society for Human Resources and a gig that they've got coming up. And there's still some more headlines I can play around with. That's all ahead right here on The Point.
The Senate remembers its maverick. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The desk of Senator John McCain draped in black as the Senate meets for the first time since his death.
On Saturday evening, a great loss echoed throughout our country.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
6 decades of patriotic service came to an end. We've suspected for some time that we'd bid farewell to our colleague, the senior senator from Arizona, John McCain.
Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer.
Knowing his prognosis prepared us for the inevitable, but it has not softened the blow. We feel a great and inexpressible loss.
Schumer has proposed renaming the Russell Senate Office Building, where McCain had his office, in McCain's name. McCain's body will lie in state in Arizona Wednesday, then at the U.S. Capitol Friday. His funeral will be held at the National Cathedral in Washington Saturday, with his burial Sunday at the U.S. Naval Academy. He specifically targeted other gamers. That's what investigators into the deadly shooting at a video game tournament in Jacksonville are saying. Sheriff Mike Williams says suspect David Katz is seen on video walking past people in a pizza parlor and heading to a back room where the tournament was held before opening fire.
The suspect carried 2 handguns and extra ammunition into the establishment with him. However, at this point, we believe he only fired 1 handgun during the incident.
Authorities say Katz killed 2 people and wounded 10 others before fatally shooting himself. Canada's foreign minister cutting short her trip to Europe to head to Washington for trade talks with the U.S. This coming after President Trump and the president of Mexico say they've reached a preliminary agreement to end NAFTA and replace it. The Trump administration still needs to negotiate with Canada to become part of any new deal. Fox News, fair and balanced.
My wife and I are really enjoying retirement. We hope to travel more to see our grandkids. But in the meantime, we're being smarter with our money. We switched our internet plan to iConnect and pay only $45 a month for unlimited service. Now we can video chat with the grandkids whenever we want. And our connection is great in Assen. Let's be practical. Why pay more when we can pay less with iConnect? Visit them at the Micronesia Mall, at Gagnon Shopping Center, or the main office in Upper Tumon. iConnect is the practical choice.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
The U.S. implements a new round of sanctions against Russia for the alleged use of chemical weapons against a former Russian spy and his daughter in Great Britain.
The sanctions ban sales of products like certain electronic devices, circuits, and turbine engines. There are exemptions, like products for the International Space Station. And this is only the first installment. The law requires tougher sanctions in 3 months if Russia fails to meet requirements it's unlikely to meet. The United States has multiple rounds of sanctions against Russia for interference in the 2016 election and the invasion and seizure of Crimea. Administration officials say those sanctions will stay in place until Russia changes that behavior. Congress is also debating additional sanctions against Russia. At the State Department, Rich Edson, Fox News.
A judge in Seattle has blocked the Trump administration from allowing a Texas company to post online plans for making untraceable 3D guns. The judge saying allowing the uploads threatens national security and public safety. A year after Hurricane Harvey, a football star says he's finished handing out the money he raised for storm victims.
Houston Texans defensive end J.J. Watt started an online fundraiser after Harvey hit Texas with a goal of $200,000 in donations. It raised $41.6 million. And Watt says in a statement released by the Texans that money has now all been distributed, and he's grateful for the generosity of strangers who chipped in. The donations were distributed to 8 groups involved in rebuilding and recovery since the storm. According to the statement, the money's been used to rebuild or clean up more than 600 homes, to provide more than 26,000 meals, and provide health care to more than 6,500 people. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Atlanta police say they're pursuing more charges against a man who rushed on stage during a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. 26-year-old Anthony Maxwell ran on stage Saturday night, according to police, and made contact with Jay-Z before being stopped by security. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Yeah, buddy. Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant, serving local lunch favorites Monday through Friday. Today is a day in between Monday through Friday. It's Tuesday, so Bistek tomorrow is the big deal that we've got to talk about today. Find that for lunch, and if you don't want Bistek tomorrow, the Pick 2 or Pick 3 combos will satisfy you as well. Lunch at King's.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Apply
Furniture
today
Kathy
for
Style.
First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Micronesia Renewable Energy. And just because the doc is back, I like saying it this way, Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
I'm sorry. We're getting caught up here. Charlotte Demaricat Huntsman is in the studio with me. We'll find out why in just a couple of minutes. You don't care. She's just pretty on the eyes. Okay, Ray, can you put on the thing that's just her? Yes, I will. Now's the time for a Wendy's break. Wendy's 4 for $4, giving customers great value every day for $4. How about 8 different options to choose from, including your all-time favorites, because they have bacon in it. The Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, the Crispy Chicken BLT, or the Double Stack Sandwich, complete with nuggets and fries and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, see, I told you I can make it so that it's just Charlotte on the what? What? No, it's like it's too late now. It's just, look, I'm already talking to you. It would require me to press one of those electric buttons up there, and there's just too many. I can't. I can't make it. I can't see. I might do a couple of other things though, and so I'm going to ask you before we get started because it's always nice when somebody comes in and remembers to feed the DJ. Yes. And so you brought over some. It's in a bag marked Doucet Gourmet. So so what did your husband tell you to bring me?
Nothing, but I brought it. He'll love it though.
Yeah. No, I got to take care of it because the last time I was in the lobby bar, he bought me like I don't know a 6-pack of Heinekens or something. So I wanted this is my way of returning the favor. So go ahead and show in the camera to everybody which one that is.
So this is an almond croissant. One must try it. It's amazing. I have it almost every morning.
Almond croissant.
And then this is and this is a tomato arugula quiche. It's really good.
Is that?
I know I asked you if you're a vegetarian, but
it's good. Okay, I
it's
was
good
looking
vegetarian.
But it's the tomatoes that look like little pears, right?
Right.
As opposed to like a red tomato. There's a name for the very sophisticated, fancy Doucetani gourmet name for it, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it is.
Oh shoot.
That's all right. Don't panic. It's all right. It's not our expertise. You are an HR professional.
Absolutely.
And I am a pretend HR professional because my old man did it for so long. And it's a growing field that we've got here on Guam. I remember when there was it's like you remember in the real estate business there were like 5 real estate people. It was Linda and that was it. There was 5 people that you know in the real estate game. Now there's like 500. And it seems to me with all of the development that we've had and the number of corporations that have come into Guam and, of course, the sheer number of laws that come out of Washington, D.C. on a regular basis, it's important that it used to be nice. Yeah, the lady in accounting will handle everything.
Right. It used to be that way, where HR was, you got somebody from accounting or administration goes, you can do HR.
Yeah.
You can push some papers.
Let's just taking all the applications and help wanted and all of that stuff.
That's it.
And it used to be easy and now it is amazing just the sheer number of laws that have come out that require somebody to make this their full-time position.
Absolutely.
Just ADA stuff.
Yes, ADA, OSHA, I mean,
EEOC, you got a federal ticket.
Oh,
you got a federal ticket. There's all kinds of reports.
Action,
yes,
all of that. Yes, yeah. So it's a growing field. It's grown. It's growing in Guam. There's UOG. I'll do another shameless plug for UOG. UOG does yield a lot of wonderful and very, very talented young professionals, HR professionals. So they have a really good program.
I didn't realize they had a program going.
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. So there's actual, so it's not just on-the-job training anymore.
No.
You can actually go someplace and get some kind of a degree in it, certification?
Yes, we have quite a few HR professionals, HR degree.
Perfect.
From
okay.
UOG.
So we'll start with that. And naturally, like in any organization or any kind of field where you've got people, there should be some kind of an association that you can belong to where you can continue to learn from each other and stay up to date on the myriad changes that come through. So here on Guam, we've got the Society of Human Resource Managers.
Right. Human Resource Management. So SHRM, we call it SHRM. So SHRM is actually a national organization. So Guam is a part of that national organization, or the Guam chapter.
Oh, I see. I'm a member of the Society of Broadcast Engineers.
Yes.
Okay, so same thing.
Same thing,
and so I get a little pin that I can wear in my lapel when I go to conventions.
Yes.
It's so much fun. No, and so when I go to McDonald's, they get free coffee because I'm an SBE guy. Little known fact. Well, no, in fact, yeah.
Really? Oh,
No,
we
I'm
gotta,
kidding.
We gotta do, okay.
No, but there should be. There should
There
be a list. Oh, you're SHRM. Okay, come on. We got the, like at Deuce.
We have free croissant.
Free croissants from Deuce if you're a member of SHRM. We'll work on that. Talk to the old man.
Exactly.
So there's a conference that you guys have coming up this week. Next week.
Next week, next Friday, it's the SHRM the annual conference that we put together from the SHRM Guam chapter. And this year it's called Engage. So it's engaging your recruitment, your talent, your workforce, and all of that, and your leadership.
Do you have any big off-island speakers coming in?
Yeah, great segues into my answers.
It's always nice talking to you. I can see you anytime. I want you to bring in somebody that travels.
Absolutely. We actually have all three speakers are going to be coming from off island. So our biggest draw, of course, is our SHRM CEO and national and our president.
That's a big
his
deal.
name is absolutely. It's his name is Johnny Taylor Jr. And SHRM, for those that don't know, SHRM National we have over 200,000 members around the world, and in Guam alone we have over 200 members. So this is a huge deal
Significant.
for us. We've never had the CEO and president come to Guam and visit. So it's wonderful.
And
Actually,
it's not even wintertime somewhere. Usually,
No.
you get that kind of love, in the dead of
Absolutely.
winter in New York or
Right.
Washington D.C.
Right.
And people need to get out someplace where it's sunny. But in this case, he's coming. It's barely fall.
It's barely fall, right? It's
Nice.
still nice in D.C., I think. And that's where he's coming from, Virginia and D.C. area. And actually, Johnny Taylor has a connection with Guam, so we don't know what that is yet. He wanted to come back, and I don't know.
Wow.
We don't know what it is yet, so we'll find out. He has a press conference going on next week.
So here's the thing. You of all people know how my brain works, and so you shouldn't allow for me to be able to go off with just my imagination on what kind of connection this guy might have with Guam. We'll find, as you say, we'll find out. Matt, you know what? Maybe if he's got some time, have him swing by the radio station, because I'd love to ask him some questions about. SHRM is not just about. It's not just about the what's the word I'm looking for? The brother and the sisterhood, the fraternity of Society of Human Resource Management, right? It's also, and why he's stationed in Washington, D.C. in the Virginia area to watch out for the needs of the human resource professional when it comes to things that are going on
Compliance
in Congress.
and legal, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
so I
absolutely.
mean, there could be.
You have to be
So
close
that's
to
why
it.
you have an association, is for somebody to go and say that's not right. That will cause undue hardship on businesses and the human resource professionals, and it's not worth what you think the outcome is going to be.
Absolutely, right. We have to protect our employees as well as employers,
Yes.
right? So we're for both, right? So with our conference, so we have him coming on board, to speak, and he's going to talk about the future of HR. And thereafter, we've invited Indeed.com. So I think a lot of people know what Indeed. If you're looking for a job, you normally go into Indeed.com. It's
I'm not looking for a job, so I don't.
Right.
Okay, so, and
But,
anybody around here that works for me that does know about it better speak up now.
So they're going to be we're going to bring somebody from their Singapore office, and they're going to be talking about transformational talent and recruiting outside your bubble. And then after lunch, we'll have engaging in your leadership. And Dan Dorr, I think you know Dan Dorr.
I've known Dan Dorr and have attended. I have my. I think everybody in my family has attended one of the when he was doing the.
His leadership
Check
program.
13. What were they? Yeah, the side courses. I want to call them the side courses. I'm not sure if that's still the right way to address them. But anyway, so getting back to the Indeed.com, I'm intrigued by the idea hiring outside your bubble.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've actually done that in the past. There was some technical skills that I needed, and normally we look around for technicians that have a broadcast background, and I didn't need anybody working on transmitters as much as I needed studio guys.
Right.
And I found a fella, and I love telling this story, and I hope Roel's not unhappy with me talking about it. I found him working at a car audio and alarm shop, and he had all of the skills that I needed. He understood the color coding of the wires, and he knew about 12-volt systems and 110-volt systems, which is all I needed him to know. And I just from there he'd gone on and was able to get the expertise in all kinds of other things, including IT. But he would not have had that shot, and I would have never found him had I looked
to your-
only in
yes,
broadcast,
exactly.
only in the kind of technology that I know.
And that's exactly what he's going to talk about. It's like you need to expand your horizon in terms of you can't just stay in, let's say, broadcasting. You can't just stay in that in your lane.
Yeah.
You gotta expand. So recruiting outside your bubble. So that'll be very interesting for a lot of employers out there.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing it. And then moving back into Dan Dorr, motivational speaker, and the guy knows, and a good, I think, life coach as well. So I mean, what is he going to be talking about? What's
so he has a really interesting title. It's he's calling it Being an Authentic Leader in an Inauthentic World, the brains and brawn of authentic leadership. So only Dan would think of a title like that. So we're excited to have you to hear about it.
Outside the box, thinking, and a different mentality that you have to have, and how it will be interesting to see how he makes that apply into the world of human resources and all of the things that you guys have got to do. Is there a continuing credit that many, because I know some of you have certifications and things like that. Are there continuing educational credits with this?
So we've applied for those who have the SHRM certification, so SHRM CP or SHRM SCP, which is we'll have the credits for them. It'll probably be about seven credits.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted by some of the commentary on Facebook Live. I got Daryl asking, "You think she knows how attractive she looks on camera? She wears it well. Great combo of brains and brawn." So here's you and I we can talk about anything, and nobody's actually listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Come on.
They don't care about. They're gonna give.
We want them to come next Friday. It's a great conference.
Well, some of these people have nothing to do with human resources whatsoever. They might just be folks that are So is it obviously your target is people in the HR game, senior management, leadership of corporations, etc.
Right.
But who else can go? Are there allied and interested fields that?
We're trying to target accounting field, the legal field. A lot of those fields have their certifications that they need to have their credits.
Maintained, yeah.
So we're trying to get those as well. So it'll be a great.
Juan Carlos Benitez now wants to literally chime in. Sorry, I can't take the call right now. I'm with a pretty lady. Leave me alone. Leave me alone here, Juan. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning. And how do we get signed up for it?
You go into our website, shermguam.org.
Okay.
I'll get that. I should know my website, but I'll get that for you in a moment. Okay. So registration closes actually this Friday. We're targeting about 300 attendees at the Dusitani Grand Ballroom.
Okay.
And pre-registration also. We HR folks like to work outside our bubble, and we like to have a little fun as well. So we have a networking hour on Thursday night, and that's
definitely show up to that.
Yes, please do.
Is it Horse and Cow, by the way?
No. It's at the Dusitani at the cellar.
Okay, but we're talking
Wrong
about
one.
next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Okay, because Horse and Cow's got a thing with Rogue Beer this Thursday.
Oh no, that's
okay. So not SHRM related.
Not SHRM related.
Okay, but it's a great way to
September 6th.
Get acquainted. So this is going to be September the 6th, Thursday night. There's going to be the Get Acquainted.
Right, networking and pre-registration, and then Friday, September 7th is the actual conference.
Okay, where's the networking thing now?
It's at the Dusit.
Okay.
Everything will be at the
There's
Dusit.
plenty of things. Is it lobby bar?
No, it'll be at the cellar.
Oh, the cellar.
Yeah, it's a really nice
area. I've not been to the cellar
lots of
just
wine.
yet. I've never been to the cellar. Okay, you know what? I might. Well, you know what? Because I'd like to see Dan Dorr. How's that? I'd like to rekindle that relationship from a long time ago.
Dan is actually going to be with us for a whole week, so maybe he can stop by here as well.
I would very much enjoy talking to him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of influence on a lot of people in my life, so it'd be good to talk to. So we've got that, and then pre-registration. The event itself is going to be Friday. Is it all day or?
It's all day. It's from 8 to 5.
Okay.
Yes.
8 to 5, and the reason why I ask is I know you guys to be a rather serious bunch. All evidence to the contrary, and so sometimes they go, okay, we're going to go from 7, and then we're finishing at 11 o'clock, and there's no lunch. Everybody go back to work.
Oh no!
But no, not in this case.
Not in this case.
Okay,
No.
this is kind of the big deal.
No, this is the big deal. Yes.
Okay.
So it's our our annual conference. So we invite, of course, all of our HR professionals and everybody else who wants to know more about
I was gonna
HR.
say, is there room for an entry level? You know, I've been saying this since the beginning of the conversation about the military buildup here on Guam, and there's a lot of people that came up in the 90s and 2000s, got themselves some really good management experience, and really developed themselves into leaders of organizations. And then there's a lot of companies where folks left town, or they had good management, but they split, or somebody died, or somebody resigned, or something like that. And sometimes the roles of management and what we would refer to as human resources, but maybe they don't in those shops, just went to the last person standing.
Right.
And so if I'm talking about you, if you feel like this is you, that you've got a big job, and there's always the potential in 2018 and 19 for the company to get sued if you do something wrong. And maybe that's a lot of pressure and stress on you. How do you deal with that? Is go and talk to the professionals and find out what it is that you can learn right away to help protect yourself in the company, and then what steps you need to begin to improve so that you can become a better HR professional.
Absolutely.
Because you are, at the end of the day, that's who you are now.
Right. And the SHRM Guam chapter, we're here for those employers, for those individuals that need some advice. Of course, we encourage them to be part of the chapter, but we're here. We're here for them. We don't want to see somebody get sued. We don't want to see that.
Right.
It's not, that's no fun
Yep.
going into court.
But still in all, among some of the other people that are going to be there are lawyers, and it's in some cases that's an HR manager's best friend is I need to do something, and just clear it through the lawyer. Just make sure that your process, your procedure, terminating people as an example, is a minefield in 2018, and there are people that you terminate them. First thing that they're going to do is call the Department of Labor and drop a dime on you, and then you find yourself, deserving or not, in a position where you have to defend yourself.
And we're all friends with Department of Labor.
Yeah.
We're good colleagues. We have lots of lawyers who are SHRM members as well. So we all connect, and we all exchange ideas, and SHRM is our, if you will, our mothership.
So Charlotte, how much is it going to cost?
So it's $150 for a non-member.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No,
That's cheap insurance, guys.
Absolutely, and $125 for a member.
Okay, so I'm a non-member, so $150 for me, and that will get me into the cellar on Thursday night, and then through the whole thing on Friday.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And what else do I get besides meeting the guy, your president, and the dude from Indeed.com, and Dan Dorr? What else do I get?
You'll get a lot of networking opportunities with a lot of SHRM professionals.
Is there food?
Absolutely,
Okay,
of course. We're at the
Deuce
It,
right?
We're at the Deuce
It.
We'll
just checking. I
feed you
gotta
for
ask.
breakfast, lunch, and snacks, and
Okay.
and the evening before that, the networking, you'll have drinks and cocktails and fun stuff like that.
All right. So if you're low on the business cards, get another batch printed up between
Please,
now
yes.
and then. So hand them around and
Right.
and make friends with a lot of people. It's always good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
And
Thank you for having us.
Well, I hope we have a chance, and you're more than welcome. Like I said, next week,
Yes.
depending on when your guests come out here, I will leave some time open for you to come back and drag them in. And you don't even need to bring Deuce It food.
Okay, no problem.
Heineken Lights will work. It's 9:25, and that's iConnect time. They're the practical choice, ladies and gentlemen. Swing by iConnect and find out how they can make your life, your communications life, that much more exciting. They've got push-to-talk, obviously, and internet and mobile plans that I think are going to delight you. They are the practical choice at iConnect.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific. Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Eco Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
$9.28. Sorry. It's just the thoughts that popped into my head. Why is the guy coming back to Guam? What connections he got? Just keep it to yourself, Ray. You're going to get sued one of these days, for heaven's sakes. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. And where have we been this adventurous morning? What have we covered? What topic? Have we solved anything today? Or have I just succeeded in muddying the waters further?
No, we have figured out that Gov Guam truly is where arithmetic goes to die.
It's just the code. The problem isn't the arithmetic, as Simon Sanchez correctly pointed out, and as I tried to point out yesterday. The math, the percentage is not the problem. It's the way the Guam code annotated is silent as to how we come up with that percentage. And again, for those of you that were listening, here's the Guam Code annotated. If the tabulation indicates that a difference in votes is 2% or less, the commission shall conduct a recount of the votes. But the Guam Code annotated doesn't tell us how to derive that 2%.
Can't you just see the senators when they were talking about this? Okay, that sounds good. What does that mean? Well, I don't know. We'll let them worry about it when it happens.
What time is lunch? Is it lunch? Let's go. Vote right now. Okay. There will be a committee that will be formed to sort all of this stuff out. So Simon was right. Simon Sanchez called in a little bit earlier and said that we're going to have to rely on them and their brain powers and their skills and their common sense to be able to crack that nut.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think they should just go ahead and recount the thing, get it done and over with. I mean, it took them less than 12 hours to count it the first time. Well, so 12, 15 hours.
But because there was a number of steps that have to be taken when they do this at the Guam Election Commission on that night. Right. In this case now, I have to check on how they're saved. I believe that they are saved in boxes. Darrell will know the answer to this one, but I believe that they're saved in boxes for each precinct, right? And in each voting category. So it's just a question of pulling out, 19 precincts or how many of the precincts, 67 precincts, right, worth of boxes, and then taking all of those, feed them into the machines. The machines only need to be instructed to look at the two races, or at that single race, the gubernatorial race. See? So it won't even look at the senatorial. It should be able to go through this fairly quick. Fairly quick. I mean, maybe a day, right? It was start at 8 o'clock in the morning. We should have an answer by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so that part will, in my mind, be fairly easy. So
that's providing that the parties who wish to have a recount don't follow Simon's advice earlier and call their legal teams in to inspect all the ballots.
That was my advice. That was my advice. If for no other reason, because I'd like a witness there. I don't want. And it seems to me that they would be allowed a witness. If Ken Leon Guerrero is asking for a recount, he ought to be able to go and watch the recount. If Frank Uggan and Alicia Limtiaco are asking for a recount, they ought to be able to go and watch the recount. And if I was Lou Leon Guerrero and Frank wants a recount, I'm going to.
We should do a live show from the recount.
But, we have the technology. Of course. We I just don't know that if I have the desire or not. Because you know me. We've known each other now a better part of 7 or 8 months. And by now, my friend, you ought to know that I'm probably the laziest guy in the world. I am the path of least action man. Right? If I can just sit and wait out an outcome, then I will. If I have to assert myself to do something with the outcome, then I don't know. Just do it for me. And that's what I'm trying to get out of here. I don't want to have to I don't want to be the guy that figures out what the mathematical formula is going to be here. Because as I've said, I am now up to 6 different mathematical formulas that will allow for a percentage.
Wow.
That is based on a number of different scenarios. Do we want to do total votes cast for the entire election?
Yeah,
do we want to do total votes cast just in the gubernatorial primary?
Yeah.
Do we want to do total votes count just between the 2 of them?
Yeah, I think option 2 would be the one. You want the votes cast in the gubernatorial election. That's what would count towards your percentage of votes towards the governor.
But we're not trying to figure out the percentage difference between all 4 of them. We're trying to figure out the percentage difference between the top 2.
Right.
So you would only, in my mind, logically, you would only look at the top 2.
Perhaps, but that's not a percentage of the votes cast for that position.
It will yield a percent.
But the Guam Code Annotated does it say?
The Guam Code Annotated doesn't say what percent we want yielded. That's where we run into this problem. So if in my mind, that's the way we're going to do that, and I will not be surprised. I will not be astonished. I will not be disappointed if the Guam Election Commission does completely other. If they go and just say, look, we did our math, and that's what we got, and we're not doing a recount. And if you're Frank Uggan and Alicia Limtialco and you want us to do a recount, this is what it's going to cost.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of our listeners and viewers this morning are just glad you and I are not in charge of making the calculations for like a long trip or something.
Yeah. No, I know. I got a guy for that. But listen, I come from a family of travel agents, and in my mind, that's still the way to do it. You want to go someplace, call a travel agent, because if you book online, it never works when you book online. You know, I think a lot of these online booking things, they put a cookie in there, right?
Oh yeah.
And if your session times out, you get it looks at your cookie and said, okay, the trip to the Philippines was going to cost you $300, and so if you log out and log back in, it knows where you were and says, okay, in the time since you wanted to book for $300 but didn't, somebody else did, so our cost for the chair goes up.
Yeah, the Cebu Pacific website is notorious for that over in the Philippines. They'll send you out an email saying, hey, dollar fare, sign in now. You'll sign in now. There's no dollar fare there, man.
Debbie Canata says, you don't give yourself enough credit. You'd be surprised how much credit I actually do give myself that I don't deserve. So I just assume that most of the time when I give myself credit,
it's a balance.
Daryl Taggart, he says, sounds like this vague law is an unfinished job for senators. Should not have to ask the commission to interpret. Agree with you 100%, Daryl, but the senators now cannot go in and resolve this problem. Period. They can resolve the next problem, but they cannot resolve this one. And now that we are in the midst of the conversation, and this is probably why it is so vague, because you can go back 60 years, right? And think about the guys that were running the government back then 60 years ago. It's possible that they may have envisioned exactly this scenario, where it's the top 2 vote getters. Well, what if between the top 3 vote getters, they were within a percent or 2? That scenario has not been envisioned.
Crazy.
Wouldn't it be just, as Eddie Calvo says, chaos? It will be chaos. And what's wrong with a little bit of chaos? I think we ought to use that word, chaos. Let's use that and teaching moment. What was the other one I was using? Was talking about this morning? There's another phrase that I think I wanted to start using all the time. I can't remember what it is. It's a 4-hour show. That's the problem. Is it gets to be 9:30, and I forgot how brilliant I was in the first hour of the show. Somebody remind me. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. Ted O is asking, what formula did the Election Commission use before? I don't think they've ever used a formula before. And I don't think certainly
sounds like
for,
it was E equals MC squared.
Gubernatorial race. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Equals MC squared?
Yeah.
No, even that I can figure out because they're constants. Energy is equal to the what is it, mass?
Mass, yeah.
Times MC and times the speed of light squared, right? Yeah. Again, so mass we can figure out. We know what the speed of light is in English and in metric, and squared is squared. So it's easy to figure out that calculation. Percentages based on no guidance on the numbers, well, that's completely different. Daryl Taggarty, well-known, well-loved, well-respected policy wonk. How you want to solve this one, my brother?
Well, you know, this is going back to some comments I made some months back about how the senators are supposed to, the chairmen, are supposed to go back through the laws and look at what kind of laws are likely to cause a problem next time that we have to refer to them. So this is where the senators, the current senators, should have already looked at something like this and said, okay, we have an election coming up where there's going to be 4 Democratic candidates go. We should take a look at this law and see what might happen, because it's vague. There's no denominator specified. Other places in the election law, the denominator is specified, but when they made those changes to the law, they didn't go back and take a look at this other section and say we should apply that formula here. So it's clear in the law. It doesn't take an interpretation by the Election Commission that might be appealed to a court and have the court interpret it. Go back and look at the legislative intent back in 1967 or whenever they passed this law, the last time they touched this section. That's the job of a senator. And nobody else, none of us can do this. And yes, no, this is not going to be resolved by the senators now. But this is their work. This is what they're supposed to be doing when the rest of us are just having breakfast. And,
So never mind the pay raises. No more pay raises. Bust a pay raise. You got to go back and make some corrections. Simon Sanchez chiming in on the text line. Why does anyone think this wouldn't be done in public? Now, that wasn't my point. I wasn't suggesting that they were going to be doing it in private, and if I inferred that, I'm sorry. That's not where I was headed. Merely saying that the people with front row seats ought to be the ones that are most affected by it. Ken LG, who's already requested as a private citizen that this be done. Frank and Alicia, who are combatants in the race, have asked that this be done. And like I said, if they're going to be sitting there watching everything with their legal counsel, I'd be Leon Guerrero, and her army of lawyers can be in there as well. And everybody gets a chance to watch the process, ask questions as it goes through. All prior recounts were done in public with interested parties present. Much ado about nothing. Yeah. Okay, the process has been used before to determine legislative races. This is not the first time. And so the question I got for you, Sai, is if it's not the first time, what did they use last time? What was the procedure? By what method? I mean, it's the Election Commission, arguably, that had decent records, so we could look through those and find out what numbers they used to determine what the percentage of the difference was. Are you still there, Daryl?
Yes, I'm still here. You don't have Sai on.
I did what?
Were you expecting a response from Simon?
No, he's not on the phone. I was just expecting. Look, we're just two guys. We're just two boys.
Yeah, they're supposed to do this in public, and yes, it was done publicly before.
Yeah, but I don't remember what formula they used once upon a time.
No, but they know, and that legislative council should know. Their legislative council should have already told them this is what we're using. I was floored when I heard Maria yesterday on your show with her formula, because Ken and I just got done debating what that formula should be, what the denominator should be.
Yeah.
And she came up with a third one, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
No, she was what they were talking about yesterday, and I see what they're trying to do was they were trying to use each 260. Was the top, and then if you divide 260 by what were the numbers? 8,000. Yeah, 8218 or 7958, you would still get something that was greater than 2. But I disagree with that methodology in order to come up with that number, because I don't think that is a correct percentage. The way that you would get the percentage.
That's right. But there's how many different ways? You could say all votes cast for that office. That would be 4 candidates. Which will give them
32 and 31% respectively. The difference is less than 2.
No. All 4 candidates, all the votes cast for the office of of governor in the Democratic side.
Yes, that is in my notes as math number 3, which is 32.14% for Lou, 31.12% for Frank and Alicia, and if you subtract one from the other, you get 1.02%. And that's, but I don't think that's the correct way to do that because it originally relies on a percentage of all 4 of the candidates, and I think that it has to be based on the percentage then of just the 2 in that race. That's math number 5 for me, which is, and it would yield 50.8% for Lou, 49.19% for Frank. And the difference between that is 1.61, which is still under 2, so automatic recount.
Elsewhere in the Guam Code annotated having to do with elections, there is a way of determining, and they add all the votes for the office. But that doesn't apply to the senators, the senatorial race, because you have multiple, you have 15 possible votes.
Just use it. Hey, Simon's on the line. Wait, hold on, Daryl. So what do you think, Si? Still the same stuff, right?
Well, my understanding is when there were some close legislative races, and they just took the counts of the 2 parties that are involved because everyone else is sort of irrelevant. I mean, so I think that's why there's that one argument that just says take a look at only the votes between Lou and Josh and Frank and Alicia, and just use that denominator, 15,000. And of course, everyone's debating because the law is not clear. I agree with Daryl and you that it's probably going to be very difficult for anyone now in the legislature to step into that mess, nor should they. I mean, they need to go with the law as was on the books Saturday. And then you've got the commission that's got 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and an independent, and they'll make the call. I'm not so worried about the cost of rerunning that thing. It doesn't take long. It's not expensive, and it serves a public good. So let's we'll see what they say. But I know when they had to decide, there's a very close race between former Speaker Ben Pangilinan and Joanne Brown. There's been a close race between the last time with Tina Mooney Barnes and Joe San Augustine, and they did a recount, but they only used, the denominator was simply the votes between the 2 contesting parties, because you're really only trying to determine the gap between the one that appears to have been elected and the one that may not have been elected. The other numbers are sort of irrelevant that they might have voted for these other parties.
Yes.
Because those other parties didn't win anyway. So why are you counting them? So, but we'll see how that goes Thursday. But I believe in practice, the last 2 times I saw them when they were done for senatorials, I think they've even been done for mayorals. They simply used the total votes cast between the 2 contesting.
Yeah, I think the mayoral one, that was in Tamuning a few years ago, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was Island and Hawaii between Joanne and Speaker Ben.
No. There was a mayoral race, but I think it was a Tamuning race.
Oh, I don't remember. No, I think our mayor's been.
Yeah, I think it was.
It usually happens in smaller. I think it happens in wherever it happened. But I believe, I'm pretty sure they just used the votes cast between the 2 parties. If there was 3 or 4 people running, although when you get to a general election, there is only 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
So some of this is complicated because this is a primary election, right? And you don't just have a winner and a non-winner, or number 15 and number 16. So, and so Daryl's right. When after the smoke clears, the next legislature can go back in and say, what did we learn? Oh, one more thing should close, and close it. But have everybody there Thursday when they meet, and I'm sure they'll be well represented with their points of view. And, when in doubt, just run a recount.
Yeah, just do the recount. It ain't going to be that big a deal. It's not something that is going to lead to embarrassment of any parties, and it would answer the question. Just do the recount, and we'll answer the question of whether or not we should do a recount, and then just come up with some numbers. By the time they get it done, we ought to have some provisional ballots vetted. We ought to have some of these flyaway ballots brought back into the conversation. Be just that much easier for people to say, okay, we've got an accurate count. It is the most accurate count of the votes that we could get.
Yeah, and remember that we're just triggering a recount, a processing of the ballots again. The way the voters voted on Saturday aren't going to change by Thursday. The ballots are the ballots. The marks are the marks. If you want to say, I want to look at every ballot, we talked about that earlier. I guess the parties could request that, but that starts to get, at some point you need to accept the fate of the people and the process, and sometimes you make it, and sometimes you fall just a little bit short.
Hey, but while I got both of you on the line, let me switch subjects here and ask a question. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking with Uncle Robert. It's not something that I'd really prayed on, but now that it's in my head, it keeps circling back. Is the amount of money that was spent to get Lou 8,218 votes? She obviously had a huge war chest at her disposal. I don't recall Frank and Alicia spending quite as much money, buying as many ads, getting as many signs up to get them to 7,958 votes. Does that give you guys any sense of any advantage that one side has over the other? Is it did all things being equal, is the cost per voter for Lou that much greater than the cost per voter for Frank?
Go ahead, Simon.
Well, I mean, obviously the cost per voter gained is obviously quite different, but democracy is not perfect. You're allowed to run for office. You're allowed to. Free speech allows you to support candidates. You're allowed to donate to candidates. You're allowed to put your own money in, and there's no law that's saying people with money can't run and only people without money can't run. I mean, it's free for everyone to participate. We can all lament that sometimes it evolves in reality that it's nice to have bigger pockets, but bigger pockets hasn't always won the election. And look how well Frank and Alicia did without that amount of money.
Exactly.
You can. That's right. But at the end of the day, November 6th is about winning the most votes, and you don't get to November 6th until you win August 25th. And however you choose to do it, as long as it's within the law. I mean, like Churchill said, democracy is not perfect, but I can't think of anything better.
Yep. There's no correlation between the two. It's just a number.
No, apparently not. How did Frank's message? Why did Frank's message resonate as little as it was amplified versus the number of messages that was coming out of Lou's camp that were amplified a great deal? What were the significant differences? And maybe if you can put your thumb on that, maybe that will give you a sense of how it might have played differently. Can you imagine if Frank could? And let me put it this way: would the outcome have been much different if Frank could match Lou's spend? How's that?
It doesn't matter, because it only matters how many people responded to the appeals, whether it was a door-to-door appeal, a printed appeal, or an electronic appeal. And we have the demographic spread. Some people use social media and depend on that for their cues on who the better candidate is. So it's really up to the voters and who wants to show up. And whether it's a dollar per vote measure, it doesn't mean anything. It only means it's only who shows up at the polls and marks a ballot correctly has meaning.
Marks a ballot correctly. We've still got work on that. Hey, guys, I'm going to let you run. 9:49 in the morning. Si, it's always great talking with you. Daryl, I love you as a resource, and I appreciate your view on things.
Thank you. What really matters is where are all those voters from those candidates that were not successful? Where are they going to go between now and November 6th? And remember, if we hit historic turnout, there's about 6,000 to 9,000 people. We have no idea what they think. They didn't show up at all.
Wow.
We had 70% turnout. So, the game is afoot, right? We're just at halftime.
And we love them all. We just stand back and salute.
Yeah. Well, listen, that will take care of all of your talk radio needs between here and Christmas. Guys, I'll check you later. 888-8255. We'll clear the lines and see if we can grab a couple of other phone calls before it gets to be 10 o'clock in the morning. Producer Mike says, I got to take a break. Here it comes.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
I've got another sound effect that I might could play for you. I might have to dig it out. I thought the break was going to be a little bit longer and give me a chance to find it. And I've also got a problem. I bought these cheap glasses. Remember what I was saying yesterday about maybe I need to get that other LASIK thing going because I get these glasses. And so I get these glasses. I like the way they look in my face, but they suck in terms of being able to see a little bit further than I want to. I know it's making me nuts. Okay, is that the one? So today we were trying out a different sound effect, primarily because we've got the Eric the Eagle and what's his name? What is his name? Good old what's his name? Who could forget what's his name? Is the guy Doug Moylan who is on War? Exactly. Eric the Eagle is now Eric the Wartime Eagle. And not going to be taking anything from nobody out there. He's just crazy and going to be nuts. And but there's another sound effect I got my hands on the other day that I might want to use if I could find it. Is that going to be it? No, it's I've got somewhere in between the video of the lousy. Somebody sent it back to me. There was a video that I got from a guy. And I told you about it. Was the dogs that were attacking the pig? Yeah. And so the pig was making this stuck pig squeal. Mm. Right? Oh, yeah. You know the sound. You're from Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We need to get that sound effect.
That squealing pig.
The stuck pig sound effect. Right? Because there's just too much. Just imagine there's going to be all kinds of stuff here in the next bunch of days that are going to make people squeal like stuck pigs. Squealing from the feeling, as it were. And so it would be cool if we had some kind of stuck pig sound effect, right? Okay, like can you imagine, like yesterday at the legislature where they thought it might be a good idea to power check. The Republican guys over at the Republican brain power at the legislature decided that they wanted to power check Talena Nelson and the Democrats on this Eric Palacios thing. Now, Talena Nelson has already said a zillion dang times that I don't think there's the support for him. I don't think there's any point to bringing it to the committee. I don't think the people in the committee have got any love for Eric Palacios, and so I'm just not going to bother with it. And the governor was making that stuck pig noise. Did you find one yet? Oh, there's apparently lots of stuck pig noises. Well, I'd already queued it up, man. I'd already talked to the point where you'd play a stuck pig noise. Oh, no. Okay. All right. I'm just saying. But if we could have prepared this. I could have prepared this better. Did you find it?
Oh, I found it. I've got to get it. See, I've got to find it, then I got to get it, and then I got to get it from where I got it and get it to the other place
so we can
play it.
Sound like a personal problem to me. You're holding up the entertainment for our listeners. All right. You're gonna have to imagine. Because they went and did it. They had the vote over at the legislature, and it turned out exactly like Talena said it was going to turn out. They don't want Eric Palacios to be confirmed as a member of the Customs Play. They don't want him there. And so somebody decided to push it, and you don't push issues like that. This is politics 101. You don't push issues like that unless you can control the room, unless you know exactly what is going to happen when the vote is taken. You don't go in there and say, well, we're going to do this, stand on the rock for the governor, and I'm going to make something happen around here. We're going to make Talena look bad. It worked out in completely the opposite direction from whatever that intention was going to be. So I'm sure at the end of the day, as Joanne says, and apparently Uncle Robert and now Simon says, at the end of the day, it did not work out. You know who did that once? Governor, I want to say Felix Camacho. This at the time where there was still a little bit more of a handshake between the administration and the Department of Education, specifically the Department of Education, as opposed to the Ed Board, and I think it was Juan. Might have been, I can't remember. I think it was Juan, one of the DOE heads, and he had gotten into a scrap with the Ed Board. And the governor came in. They were going to have a vote, and the governor came in. And there's First Lady Joanne Brown, and they we're here. We're here, and it had like I'm on your six, man, and there's no way you can lose because I'm here, and I'm Governor Cool with my wife. everything is going to be okay. Ed Board came up, and it did not go in his direction. Very embarrassing for the governor. And as I said, along the lines of what happened with Eric yesterday. And so there is a great mystery that we were trying to watch unfold. Philly Guerrero was asking some pointed questions along with other members of the media when this came out. I want to thank Senator Will Castro for his leadership in making a motion to get Eric Palacios' nomination heard on the session floor. I'd also like to thank Senators Tommy Morrison, Luis Muñoz, Jim Espeldon, and Dennis Rodriguez for voting in favor to hear the nomination to act on the appointment. All I wanted was to get a vote on it, so I thank these senators for being transparent. And it says Eric Palacios will serve as the acting director of Guam Customs and Quarantine until his appointment expires as defined by law, which is September the 7th. But did not Governor Eddie Jerome Bazacalvo say not that long ago that Eric Palacios is going to stay at Customs and Quarantine if he has to be detailed as a special assistant? So this is like, how do you come up with the percentage? I think it's still a little bit fuzzy here, what it is that's exactly going to happen on September the 7th. Does Eric Palacios stay? Does the governor's office send down another name? He's already had the confirmation vote, frankly, and failed, so you might as well knock in another name now so we can get the process going. Or is Eddie going to kind of tread the line on the law? I don't know. Brad says, right on, Will Castro. I say right on. Thanks for giving me something to talk about. They're close. It just sounds like is that what they sound like when they're eating? Or is that an actual stuck pig?
I don't know if that one's stuck, but he wasn't happy.
An unhappy
I'm the
pig.
big whisperer. I know this.
No, but the one I got is like, I mean, it's long. It's really, because it's in a scrap with the dogs.
I could dug that up like in 3 minutes, bro.
I know. I'll see if I can find mine. So if you got it on your WhatsApp, because I've apparently lost it on mine. 988-5874. That's 988-5874. If you've got that stuck pig with the dogs from over the weekend, I really could use your help. I mean, it's almost too late now, but for tomorrow or something like that. 9:58. And then there was the one thing that I wasn't able to talk about here today, and it's just because I'm distracted by 50 other things, including the very pretty Charlotte Huntsman, was there's more Doug. I'm sorry, we're going to do more. I only read one sentence from the Doug piece today, so I'm going to do some more of that tomorrow. Not that one. There was a story. Come on, where's that? The music's already playing, and I don't have the story. AG's office, there it is, meets with Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio's attorney, sources say. And Kevin and I were looking at this, and I love you, Jolene, but this is still a BS story until we start getting something that feels like it's got some gravity from the Attorney General's office. And I don't know if anybody's awake over there. The governor's spokesman, Oya, said the office of the Lieutenant Governor remains focused on the business of serving the people of Guam. Rumors circulating over election weekend are untrue. Inquiries on this matter should be referred to the Attorney General's office. That was the whisper campaign that I was telling you about, that there was supposed to be some kind of action from the Attorney General's office, and boy, Toka Ray's going to get it. But I haven't seen anything, but apparently they are. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We're KUSG. Hug gotten you. This is 93.3 The Point.
A new deal with Mexico. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump with a preliminary trade pact that would end NAFTA and replace it.
What the president did with Mexico today really follows along his desire to craft bilateral country-to-country trade deals as opposed to these big, what he believes are unwieldy multilateral trade deals. The U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer today said that when they were trying to renegotiate NAFTA with Mexico and Canada involved, sometimes there were 1,000 people who were involved in the discussion. So President Trump felt it wasn't going anywhere and said, let's pare it down. Let's just do this one-on-one with Mexico. He feels that the trade relationship with Mexico and Canada is getting dramatically out of whack, but he says